say, take a look in the mirror, because we also know that when it comes to this cabinet has more people accused of sexual assault than any incoming cabinet probably ever in the history of America. So we are living in unprecedented times, and we know that this was completely political. As someone who serves on the Oversight Committee, this was gamesmanship the entire time. And
that's how we're starting this resistance with Jasmine Crockett. Yeah.
We're live today.
Go on, Dark Brandon. Pardon me. Yeah. I need some more of that Dark Brandon energy. Let's go. What else should we do, Jody? Come on. Come on. Fire Merrick Garland. Let's get some done. Pack the Supreme Court. Let's go. Yeah.
Allison Gill had the thing too about violence.
I don't care.
She's
I will
on
take
today.
her on that tattooed little minx. Okay. Hi. Hey. How was everybody's Thanksgiving?
We're live.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay.
Hey.
We have both determined, Chris and I, that everyone that is saying anything about Joe Biden pardoning Hunter can go themselves with both the ice planet Hoth
And the forest planet of Endor.
Yeah, because it's almost Christmas and there are pointed
Right.
trees involved, and also there'd be Ewoks clawing their way out of your colon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's how you can yourself. Wow.
Yeah.
Really? Anybody on our side? Oh my God.
Who on our side? I haven't seen anybody on our side say that it was a bad.
Stop with the pearl clutching and the bedwetting. Oh, I'll tell you where. You know what happened? I made a mistake twice over the holidays.
Uh-oh.
So I never miss my Nicole Wallace.
Right.
So I have the channel, but so I turned it on over the holidays once, and Morning Joe was on because I had it on, and I was like, oh,
Why?
And then that happened again this morning because I turned it back for the
Don't do
weekend
that.
to watch my Ellie Velshi and my Jen Psaki and my weekend show, and I didn't realize that's where bedwetting, pearl clutching.
Ellie Velshi?
No, not Ellie. No, I'm talking about the people. There was Morning Joe this morning before I could lunge to change the channel.
Oh.
Thank you, Joyce Vance. There is not a legal expert worth their salt that thinks Hunter would ever have been charged with this crap.
Right.
If he were not Joe Biden's son. Give me a break. Right? Somebody suffering from addiction that paid back the taxes, by the way. Mm-hmm. It's a ridiculous gun charge that no right-winger would ever want anybody charged with, right? Ugh, don't even get me started. Anyway, yay, Dark Brandon. Let's go. Arming up Ukraine. Okay. Thank you. That's Operation Dark Brandon.
Yeah, it is.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We only got a
we
couple months.
need more of that. We
Yes.
really need more of that.
Yes.
We need him to break stuff as he leaves the White House.
Yes.
Yes.
Do FBI background checks.
Yes.
That is ridiculous. And
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me? He just appointed Jared Kushner's corrupt father, who he pardoned, to be ambassador of France. And we're having anyone go, oh, tisk, tisk. Now what's Trump going to do? What? Are you kidding me? You think he needed a Hunter pardon to pardon all the he was 2 seconds on the pardon all the J6. Like there's any equivalency between Hunter Biden and people that beat a cop half to death at the Capitol.
Right.
Pardon me. Sorry, go ahead. Hi, Jody.
Hello.
Oh, I don't know if you noticed that this show has also had an autocratic overthrow. I was here when you were on vacation in the patriarchy with Chris and Lonnie, and they both voted for Brave. I voted for Fighter, and now I've just overthrown my own government, and I'm going back to Fight. Brave's a little too. I mean, we do have to be brave. It's a little too mellow for me. We stuck right here in this angry for a little while. Okay. Anyway, you'd like to know who? Yes, Charlie Sykes.
How many theme songs has this show had?
A lot.
A bunch. These political cycles have been
When we
going
first
through
started,
menopause again.
When we first started in 2004,
We're not gonna take
We're
it.
not going to take it.
Yeah.
And then we went to
Walking on Sunshine.
Walking on Sunshine.
yes,
for Obama.
after Obama got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Remember
we had
that?
that for 8 years.
Yeah.
And then
Fight song.
Fight song.
Yeah.
okay.
And then that made us too sad. It was too Hillary. Then we went to Freedom because President Kamala Harris. And then what?
Then Brave.
Yes.
And now Fighter.
Right.
I might not be
I
done.
think you've used Spider before because someone put that together.
Yeah, I did. We
Yeah.
did it for a minute.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Listen. So, yes, Charlie Sykes, there's one on MSNBC, said a smart person texted him saying Trump probably can't believe his own dumb luck at this point. Are you kidding me? Donald Trump is a career criminal. He's a 34-count convicted felon. And you're like, oh, he's now Donald Trump's going to go crazy. He pardoned
Steve Bannon.
Charles. He's pardoned everybody,
What are you
so they
pointing
can
at?
go. I don't. It's the next criminal that he's going to appoint.
It's very sign
Yeah, I had to
language.
go. Oh, is Jared's dad out of jail? Chris Christie put him. Oh, good. So he can be ambassador to France. You know what? He ought to make Hunter ambassador to France for 2 months just to F with them. I think I
Break
stole that.
stuff.
I
He
think
needs to
I
break
stole
stuff.
that from Dan Savage. But he's got. I am all for operation with them as much as possible for 2 months. Oh, Joe Walsh, you were correct. Turned on me, stung
Yes,
me
he did.
like the scorpion that he is.
When it came to this.
I was
yeah.
trying
Yes.
to warn you.
No, he's right about a lot of stuff. Are you kidding
I
me?
don't understand everybody's anger. I don't get it.
I don't
either.
either. That's ridiculous.
It's the president's prerogative.
Chris Liza
Oh,
also.
well, he can go F himself,
Right.
too, with the Ice Planet.
John
Hawk.
Chait, who I normally love, said, he chose to put his own feelings over the defense of his country.
What?
How is Hunter Biden a threat to the defense of the United States? Are you kidding me? Oh, my God.
bedwetters.
Bakari Sellers, thank you. Dismissed the moral panic, pointed out that Trump doesn't need the Hunter pardon to permit any of his actions. Thank you.
Of course not.
And he pardons people so they can start criming again with him. Oh my God, I can't. I'm getting a little woozy already. I just came out of both barrels on a Thanksgiving holiday. Yeah.
Our party is filled
What
with
else?
bedwetters.
Oh, Captain Crazy Eyes, Kash Patel, as head of the
yeah.
FBI. How about that? Oh, this is, we have a long weekend. It's a lot, right? It's a woo.
Several prominent Republicans who have a say in the matter said that Kash Patel doesn't belong there. So.
He does not.
Oh my God! Do you need any more evidence that he's totally going to weaponize that? You know what I was thinking? They'll probably arrest Hunter Biden again
For nothing.
based on nothing, right?
Yeah.
When they're arresting Joe Biden for something, he's also on record as saying we will prosecute all of the people who helped Joe Biden cheat in 2020.
What?
What? This is what I keep saying about you're not going to need crimes or evidence in Trump 2.0. By the way, did you see we had a record-breaking everything over the holidays?
Box
Spending,
office? Record
spending, travel, everything. But nobody, 3 weeks ago, no one had money for eggs or anything. Okay. I'm in a mood when I've written handwritten notes
Yeah,
in
she
addition
did.
to
Oh.
I saw that
every
this
tweet
morning.
and thread and blue sky ever written.
You've killed a few forests
Yeah,
today.
She yes.
I just
I try to limit it as much as I can.
I can tell you exactly why. Well, first of all, it's not just the bending the knee to Trump that Morning Joe's lost half their viewers. It's beating up on Democrats. Nobody wants to see people. We're already depressed about the election. This is what happened when someone I tuned in inadvertently to Morning Joe over the holiday, and literally in time for him to blame the whole election on people are running away from Democratic elites. I mean, give me you know who's a Democratic elite? You and Mika. You know who was not born a Democratic elite? Kamala Harris, who worked at McDonald's and whose family couldn't afford a house till she was in high school. Tim Walz, who's a coach and a teacher. Oh my God! I got to listen to Randy Rhodes, who is the most talented communicator on our side.
Yes, we
I
need
caught
more
up-
Randy Rhodes.
I caught up on her
She's very
podcast. One of the smartest people I've ever met. She didn't go to college. Who are you calling Democratic elites? Snooty elites that are looking down on you. Kamala Harris didn't talk down to anybody. Tim Walz didn't talk down to anybody. I'm so sick of this. I don't even know what to call it. See, this is what, right? Oh, yes. Thank you. Who talks down to people more than Donald Trump, as I keep saying? Yeah. He's name-called every single person and group just about in this country, and not just liberals he doesn't like. Republicans he doesn't like. He's a billionaire. So's Elon Musk. Like, how are...
No,
okay.
he says he's a billionaire.
Well, he's got a lot of money.
Right.
He has access to money.
That's the thing I can't get my head around, Chris. 2016, you can blame Mark Burnett and go, there was this myth, but who that has one functioning brain cell does not know this guy's been bankrupt how many times?
Right.
How in the first place did you think? And then you have, as Exhibit B, he crashed our economy. He had the worst presidency in history. We had the worst COVID outcomes in the world. He crashed the economy. Biden had to fix everything, which he did. Oh my God! Now,
and now they're going to.
and now a warning. All the headlines.
Now a warning.
With inflation easing, Trump's tariffs. Thanks, mainstream media, for reporting that story. Now, anyway, where was I?
I have no
I don't
idea.
know. She's
You're
in a-
just bouncing around like
mood. Is.
a
In a mood.
Super Bowl
How
in a
much
small
coffee
room.
have you had today?
What is going on with you?
I had a few days off.
You have sponge stuck in your craw.
Anyway, how could you possibly think that he would help the economy now? You are an idiot if you voted for him this time. I'm sorry. Honestly, how much worse could he have made the economy? On top of, he did the same thing he did to all of his businesses. Okay. Do I have anything else? Okay.
Is your craw empty?
I have more thoughts.
Okay. I guess not then.
You know what? My next executive order will be to rename this the United States of Mark Elias.
Donald Trump and the cynics want us to believe that he is all-powerful and that if you fight back, you will lose. He wants you to believe that if you fight back, you may face danger. And he wants you to believe that if you fight back, it won't matter because he is in control of everything. And it is not true. It is time for us to build not a resistance, but an opposition, something that is durable, something that will last for 4 years and beyond. And we need to build that opposition now, and we need to all gird ourselves for the long run.
Yep. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Laughocracy tweets, the duration of time between no one can afford eggs or bacon anymore and Black Friday supporters spent a record $10.8 billion online was about a month. America, land of the shopping spree, home of the depraved. Also record travel ever. 80 million people that didn't have money for eggs 3 weeks ago. Okay. All right. We have Rude Pundit, who is very rude this morning. Which is exactly what I need. And Allison Gill. Oh, I saved Adam Schiff audio for her. What?
She had a lovely rant on her show, on the Daily Beans over the weekend.
Oh, did she?
About Merrick Garland.
What, is she off the train too?
No.
Oh. All right.
We'll find out.
No,
I
hadn't heard that. We'll play it. But I'd heard that over the weekend as well, that he made an interesting point, Adam Schiff. He said he thought it was another grave error by the Justice Department to, what do we do? Dismiss with prejudice, which means you can bring it later. Without prejudice, pardon. Yeah. But anyway, it's an interesting legal take, and I'll explain why. He said, Jack Smith was obviously going on advice from the DOJ, but he thinks it was a serious mistake. Because then the status quo is there's no charges, and I don't, we'll explain the legalese anyway. We'll get into all that. Why are you staring at me like that?
Do you want me to not look at you when you're talking?
I asked her whether she was team fighter or team brave, and she's like, I don't care. She's like you in the whole Angelina Jolie fight. She's team I don't give a.
Right.
Fine. Fine. See, this is why I had to make an autocratic decision.
That was 12 years ago. I really don't care
I will
now.
always be team Jen.
All right.
I met Angelina. She's so pretty.
Really? I hadn't noticed.
She's really, really pretty. Yes.
She's in a new movie about Maria
They're both
Callas.
pretty.
She is.
Don't cite. They're both pretty.
They both are.
All right, 19 minutes after.
They're both very nice ladies.
If I met Angelina Jolie in any kind of shot, I would switch team Angelina so fast. I would, woo! 19, she's bi. Okay, 19. Wow. 19 minutes after the hour. This
She also has.
Hi, you old bone smoker.
That's my favorite thing ever.
Welcome to our new morning show,
I'm gonna
Bulimic
change my
Ditch
name
Licker
on
and the
Zoom
Beanie
here.
Boy.
Yeah. Remember for a while I was using Dick Pinch as
Yes,
my name,
yes.
my login name for Zoom. I think it's going to be Bone Smoker now. That's
We
Get ready.
are changing the name of the show to Bulimic Ditch Licker and Beanie Boy.
Yeah, and see, the problem is then I'm going to do like a serious Zoom call later on with like my accountant or something, and my name's going to come up Bone Smoker.
Dick Pinch.
Because that happened a bunch of times with Dick Pinch. When I was Dick Pinch on Zoom, I would do like a regular with my cousin or my uncle or something like that. And, oh, here I'm Dick Pinch. Good to meet you.
Oh God, because we're now in the new despicable Jesse Waters era. But I miss that idiot Bill O'Reilly. He fell for everything, right?
Dick Pinch, Clear Lake, Iowa.
That's it.
All right,
Pinch,
sorry,
Clear
Bob.
Lake, Iowa. Yeah, and by the way, that clip that you played coming out of the commercial of that guy with the accent talking about lesbians or whatever he's
bald-headed lesbians.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
with the nose rings.
I guess we're now back in that era of people doing parodies of callers from that movie Talk Radio with Eric Bogosian.
Right. Right.
That guy, that sounded exactly like something out of that movie. If you haven't seen Talk Radio with Eric Bogosian, it's a great movie
Really
about
good.
radio.
Yeah.
And every single caller sounds like that guy, and it's terrifying. You expect, like, Stephanie's opening up a box that has like a Nazi flag in it and a rat, just chain smoking.
By the way, Chris, it should be a bulimic ditch liquor and the bone smoking Beanie Boy.
Right.
Pardon me.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Good at
Liquor
it.
and bone smoker in the morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Our new radio team.
Uh-huh.
So, Bob, you retweeted the cartoon Evolution of the GOP of Nixon, I am not a crook, and Trump just going, I'm a crook, so what? And you just said 76 million Americans, yeah, so what? I mean, our friend, Joe Walsh said something like that. Like, yeah, I blame Merrick Garland, but you blame the 76 million people that went, yeah, okay. They saw the same things we did, right? I mean, even if you, I get it, the disinformation, they believe him, that all was a witch hunt, all of these juries, his peers. But, at the end of the day, they saw January 6th with their own eyes, right?
Right. And we're back in this place again where we were 5, 6, 7 years ago, where we're talking about how there need to be serious reforms for the presidency, reeling in executive power. And I think if you were to get in your time-traveling DeLorean and go back to 1776 and explain to the founders, what do you think? Should the president be immune from prosecution? Should the president be able to just take office even though he's been convicted of 34 felony counts? Should this president have all charges dropped against them? And they would go, well, what are you talking about? This is exactly what we're fighting against. This is the sort of thing that we're opposed to, and you should not do that, future people with your weird-looking silver car. And so this is something that needs to, because first of all, Donald Trump shouldn't be allowed to be inaugurated, given the fact that he's been adjudicated as an insurrectionist. That disqualifies him.
You
and Congress
retweeted,
needs to vote to ameliorate that.
You retweeted Lawrence Tribe, but it's just the fact that we live in a world where we know, like, oh, well, that won't matter, right? I mean, Lawrence Tribe said not that anyone's going to do anything about it, but it might be good to remember that as an educated, oath-breaking insurrectionist, Mr. Trump is constitutionally disqualified under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment from taking the oath. But, that's the problem, Bob, is I feel like even Glenn Kirshner yesterday is like, well, we have a king, right, at least for now. Yeah. We don't live in a land of, Yeah,
I think we all who follow politics understand that there are certain traditions and norms of the presidency and American government that kind of hold everything together. It's this gigantic loophole that Donald Trump is consistently exploiting because he sees those norms and traditions as, well, they're not laws, they're not rules.
Right.
I can just walk right through them. Doesn't matter. And so we're seeing that time and time again where the deference and to the extent that we're criticizing Merrick Garland, Merrick Garland has significant deference, even though he was the first attorney general to charge a former president with crimes. That's an important factor here, or to prosecute a former president. The fact of the matter is that there's way too much deference when it comes to obvious criminals, obvious conduct.
Stephanie Miller Show. Rude Pundit coming up bottom of the hour. Karen in Chicago. Happy Thanksgiving hangover. Hello.
Happy Thanksgiving. And Stephanie, in this new era, you can never take any days off ever.
Oh, okay.
We
Fine.
need you.
Making a note of this. Okay. All right.
Please make a note of it.
Let me just say though, it's laughable, these people that are clutching their pearls over President Biden pardoning his son. The same people that are talking about how the weaponization of the DOJ by President Biden, when his son was investigated, prosecuted, and convicted, where he was investigated, for classified documents. And then, but yet the DOJ never investigated Kushner for his $2 billion from the Saudi government.
Yeah.
So, it's a joke.
I'm just saying,
and meanwhile,
Attorney General Glenn Kirshner could get a lot done in 2 months.
Right.
Yes, he could.
All I'm saying.
Yeah, but then you have Donald Trump promising retribution. Project 2025, taking away the independence of the DOJ. He's going to pardon the J6
Of course he
convict.
is. Oh, he didn't need the stupid Hunter Biden pardon. No. He was going to do that anyway, please. I am with a Rude Pundit who said, oh, off. Everyone who's clutching their pearls over Biden pardoning his son, MAGA mother, including the incoming president, mocked his drug addiction, showed his in Congress, wrecked his life. As Biden said, in trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me, so them. Use the power when you have it. It's a lesson all Democrats could learn. It's a lesson Biden should have used all along. I agree, rudeness, and said in the rudest way possible.
That's right.
This is the easiest guess the quote ever.
Let's do it.
Do you need to stretch first?
No, I think I can do it. I can handle it.
No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong.
Frosty the Snowman.
Oh my God, no! It says it right in there. President Biden. He says
it could have been Jill Biden, but it was one of the two.
I do not understand.
It's a good thing he's pretty.
I'm just not good at this.
God did make him pretty. Robert Reich said, never forget this. The forces undermining our democracy, rigging our economy, polluting our planet, and stoking hatred are counting on you to give up. Cynicism is how they win. I am optimistic about defeating cynicism. Huh? Rude Pundit next.
Hello. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. You were just coming out of the chute rude. But that's all that one can say is off. Seriously, for anybody saying anything about, Joe Biden pardoning his son, when everyone knows this was a bull charge in the first place, right?
Yeah. And as Josh Marshall pointed out, it's like also that would have meant that Hunter Biden would have been subjected to whatever Trump's DOJ would have wanted to do, since it was federal charges and federal prison. So, what would have made you happy? For him to be shivved in prison by someone all hopped up on MAGA meth? I mean, they put a target on his back, and they made him into this enormous enemy to the American people. And so, you're going to get some MAGA guard there at whatever prison he's sent to, or jail. Stupid.
Yeah.
I'm relieved that he pardoned Hunter Biden.
I'm like, let's hope this is a Dark Brandon warm-up act.
Yes. He needs to break stuff on his way out.
I'm glad he's, arming Ukraine to the teeth as much as he can, at least strengthen their position at the negotiating table before, Trump bends entirely over for Putin and just gives it to him for whatever. Okay, so see, this is what
I wanted to see how far you were going to go with that.
I know. I was looking at you.
Bend over.
You're a bad influence. Okay.
And Vladimir would have slapped his ass a few times to get it nice and red because that's what he likes.
Okay, all right. Let's just move on to your piece, which is note to Democrats: we have to see you fight, even if it is in a losing cause. I mean, again, I feel like we are in record time going to have a case of buyer's remorse here. We're already seeing it. Thanks, media, for reporting, by the way, on where did I have? I mean, so many people commented on this. True Madonna says, wow, media everywhere reporting about record sales on Black Friday and airing videos that show lines of people shopping too, a record holiday travel. And just a month ago, the media was reporting no one could afford gas and groceries, and especially eggs. And and
airports are more crowded than they've been in years. I mean, it was obvious just, to hype it one way and now hype it another. And it just feels like everywhere you look, everyone is just bowing down before Trump, getting on his good side before he even gets into office.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why I appreciate, can I just say, I want to see you be brave. Right, Jody?
Yes.
That's okay.
We should have stuck with that theme.
There you go. See?
No, but David Jolly, give me cut 8. Thank you for saying this on MSNBC.
Forgive me for saying that you can't go to Mar-a-Lago.
Thank you.
You can't do it. It's going to get me in trouble. You can't do that. You have to hold Donald Trump accountable for being wrong. You have to hold all of his allies accountable for being wrong. Even if that means you're in a losing environment and you're threatening your own liberty and your own security as an American. You either believe that Donald Trump and Trumpism is wrong and is a threat to American democracy, or you don't. That's the environment. It's hard.
Yeah. To your note, I mean, your piece was great as usual. You just said since the reelection of Trump, it's natural Democrats to engage in some self-reflection. Of course, it's not like Republicans did that after Trump lost in 2020 and then tried to overthrow the election. But, if you're a rational group of humans, you reassess after you lost, think about what you could do better. Perhaps you come up with some new ways to inspire voters. You said, what you don't do? You don't cry uncle for an extended period of time while punching yourself in the face repeatedly. You don't decide that the real solution to your failure is to move the needle, the 2% it might have taken to win is to abandon your values and turn your back on the rhetoric you used throughout the campaign and about Trump and MAGA Republicans. You don't throw people and movements under the bus. You don't absolutely offer a helping hand in any words of encouragement or praise for a man you declared a fascist and a Nazi and a criminal and a rapist whose return to power would mark the end of American democracy and would plunge the world into chaos. And you say that's what a lot of, not just Democrats, but other, right, who's the latest? Yeah. Mark Zuckerberg, on and on, just kissing the ring.
Yeah. I mean, I almost can understand the corporate people doing it because, they have to protect their billions.
I kind of like the elegant way the president of Mexico told himself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
After you knew he was going to do this. The border's closed now. You're welcome. He's not even president. It's not because of Biden. It's the Biden administration that's been working with Mexico. The crossings
and
are
working
down.
in partnership with Mexico, not threatening Mexico, and not actually openly contemplating how much can we invade Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, she in record time. Oh, doesn't it make you think if we had a badass woman of color president, wouldn't that be something? Mm-hmm. But she just as elegantly as, just the minute he put out his tweet, she's like, nope. It's not what we said. I mean, literally, I said this, but this is in record time. He's taking credit now before he's even president for something that was already happening under the Biden administration, right?
Oh, yeah, because, his warm orange glow is making it all better. It's healing us like, ultraviolet rays on testicles.
Yeah, Covey tweeted, Trump, Mexican president has agreed to effectively close the border. Mexican president, we reiterate that Mexico's position is not to close the border, but to build bridges between governments and between peoples. Trump, Mexican president, what's her name? Claudia Sheinbaum, says Mexico will retaliate if Trump follows through with his proposed tariffs, a move her government warns could kill 400,000 U.S. jobs and drive up prices for U.S. consumers. So good for her.
And by the way, can we just say the phrase close the border is so dead wrong? I mean, if you close the border to another country, sorry, you're not having that Cozumel honeymoon that you planned.
Right.
That's what it means to close the border. Nobody can travel either way. So to keep saying that is that in itself is a lie.
Yeah, yeah. And thank you, by the way. You just said Bernie Sanders has been extra odious, saying the election results were because Democrats abandoned working class people. Then you added, first, as I said, he signed every bill that the Biden administration passed that helped working class and took credit for it, which he always shows up to take credit. And then he always shows up to beat up Democrats when things don't go well for a second, right? He said, then you add in Democrats like rank opportunists Seth Moulton and Thom blaming their party for refusing to condemn the extraordinarily rare occurrence of transgender girls playing in girls' sports in high school, with Swazi saying the party was pandering to the far left. You just said what's really true. Trump won because people believed his falsehoods, not because he was telling any hard truths. You have to be willing to tell people who voted against you that they're wrong, not that you're wrong. Thank you, Rude. Great points.
Yeah. And I'm with Chris that Biden needs to break stuff on his way out. That he needs to do all these things that he can and set things up and just try things. Try another executive order that gets rid of student debt. Try an executive order that offers amnesty to people who are here who applied for asylum. Just try it. See what happens. Punt.
Yeah. By the way, Aaron Rupar said, if you're beginning a tweet with Elon Musk is right, which Bernie did, and Musk is literally part of the incoming administration and randomly threatening to prosecute Americans for opposing Trump, you'd be better off saying nothing at all. Yes, I'm talking about Bernie Sanders. I mean, let's not be helpful idiots to this fascist orange clown. Right?
Yeah, and we see it again and again with them saying, well, this nominee is not quite as crazy as the others, so maybe I can support this one.
Right.
And it's like, no, just say you don't. Say this is a horrible administration putting horrible people in, and that we shouldn't be bothering with praising them or getting on the Trump train.
Yeah, and by the way, as I keep saying, the disinformation isn't going to stop. It's going to be, the gaslighting will be just like this. Like, Trump closed the border. He's not even president yet. Right. See? Only he could fix it. No matter what happens, they're going to either blame Biden or he's going to take credit. So get ready.
Yeah. And the same thing will happen when the tariffs tank the economy. It'll be like, oh, that's because of other countries not paying their tariffs, which of course is not the way it works. And now we need to punish them even more. And it's just, or he'll blame Democrats for not supporting him. He'll blame Democratic consumers for not buying enough goods.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start. First of all, yeah, Elon Musk threatening private citizens is wow. But Marty tweeted, Elon Musk says the price of fentanyl will rise sharply due to Trump's tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. Hey, Elon, drug smugglers do not pay tariffs.
Right.
This will not affect the price of fentanyl at all. Why do you think what do you think the drug cartels will do? Declare their shipments of illegal drugs at customs and pay their tariff? Good Lord, we're in for a long 4 years. I mean, right.
And by the way, the price of fentanyl is going up because of all that the Biden administration is doing to stop it from coming into the country. And it's becoming harder and harder to find. And
don't forget, Trump's going to do an ad about how bad fentanyl is for you, and that's going to solve the whole crisis right there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Since Just Say No have we? That's a brilliant. Apparently, it's bad for you.
Oh yeah. It's great. He'll get out there in front of his golden wall at Mar-a-Lago, wearing his tie that covers his penis, and just get out there with his two hands, going, "Don't do fentanyl. It's bad for you. It's ruined many lives." Dude, we can see the Adderall under your nose.
Right, as Don Jr. rubs stuff on his gums next to him.
Yeah.
Why did no one report on that? He put his hand in his pocket and he rubbed something on his gums. Are you okay? All right. Yes. By the way, fun fact, Ken Delanian said the vast majority of fentanyl is smuggled into the U.S. by Americans at legal border crossings. How are Mexico and Canada supposed to stop that? Okay.
Yeah, and I think Mexico should make a big deal about, hey, you know where most of the cartels get their guns from?
Yeah.
They get them from the United States because
it's
so freaking easy to get guns.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the violence down there is because of Americans and Americans buying the drugs.
Yeah. But then when we get the big dumb ad about fentanyl's bad, it's so bad. People didn't know it's bad. But nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody knew it's bad for you. Did you know it's bad?
Yeah, I can't wait until somebody that is, sitting in their living room in a shack watching the video on their phone as they're about to shoot up going, well, I won't do it now because President Trump said.
By the way, in defense of Donald Trump, it does not take much to cover his penis, so...
I'm just talking about how long the tie is, not how short the penis is.
Okay, all right, good to know. Good to know.
One has to get over his belly.
Right.
Yes, there we go. Okay, yes, one last one.
He's got Spanx on. He's got like 2 layers of Spanx on under there.
Right. So according to Trump, the 25% tariff would not be implemented, or if implemented, will be removed once Mexico and Canada stop the flow of illegal immigrants and fentanyl into the U.S. Okay, this is going to be, first of all, this is going to be the stupidest election in our history, right? It's just, okay, I can't even. Oh, by the way, one last tweet. Gas at the corner, $2.90 a gallon. Turkey, 99 cents a pound. Thanks, Joe. We're going to miss you. Write down those prices.
Yep. Yeah. And something I didn't put in that piece because I put all these things that Biden should do, and something maybe I'll go back and edit. Biden should also be out there arresting some people that are going into Trump's administration. They should be getting out there, and when Elon Musk is making direct threats against people, arrest that MFer. And like Alexander Vindman should be suing the pants off of.
Just
Elon
accused
Musk.
him of treason, and basically called for his execution.
Stating that he works for an oligarch in Russia, and it's like that's a statement of fact that's totally untrue, and it is meant to damage Alexander Vindman. It's like, I don't even understand why we're pretending that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy have some kind of power, and they have no power.
Yeah. Just don't you feel like this whole thing is just a national security threat? Maybe Dark Brandon ought to use that immunity to just say,
I agree. Use it.
Yeah, never mind this election.
If he's gonna break stuff, may as well break it all the way instead of showing up at the inauguration.
Yeah.
Oh, I went to the party for the end of democracy.
All right. Well, that was sunny. Thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to go further into
No.
how Vlad and Donald have sex?
No.
We're entering the holiday season, Rude. Come on.
Yeah, come on. His birthday is. Don't be a. It's Christmas.
So you don't want me to make a peppermint stick reference?
No.
No.
Goodbye.
He has a birthday
Your
on
candy
Thursday.
cane?
Rude does.
Oh, happy birthday, Rude. Your birthday's on Thursday.
Happy
My
birthday.
birthday's on Thursday. Yes.
Aw.
Happy birthday.
Bye.
I'm turning old.
All right. Goodbye. Love you. 49
Bye.
minutes after the hour. This portion of the show brought to you by He. Listen, we've been wanting to meet this lady for a long time. I'm sorry, now that I'm in my downward spiral. Florida Democratic Chair Nikki Fried is here. We could not be more excited. You just said, I love your tweet. You said, we told you they wanted to make America Florida. And you said he picked America. Let us introduce you to Pam Bondi. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. Nikki, where do we even start with Pam Bondi? You go first.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on, and I love waking up to that caller. That just really kind of sets the tone for so much of what's going to be the next 4 years. But yeah, it's watching kind of after the election and watching one Republican after the other from Florida make its way to Washington D.C. and it kind of keeps getting worse. We started off with Susie Wiles, and then we went to Marco Rubio, and then we went to Mike Waltz, and then we went to Mike Huckabee, who had a short stay here in the state of Florida, then Matt Gaetz, and now we're at Pam Bondi. I mean, they're
like
really picking the
At least Marco Rubio is just a spineless weasel.
Right.
I mean, but
I don't know who's going to trust him in a negotiation room.
I mean, Nikki, I know we're not in any kind of normal world, political or otherwise, right now. But how do you get confirmed as Attorney General when I'm not a lawyer? But how is that not a bribe she took? When she took $25,000 to drop the suit against Trump University, which when they did prosecute it in state after state, he was found guilty as sin in the Trump University scam. Then you got someone, she's on record as being an election denier. Then on record as saying she will prosecute the prosecutors and investigate the investigators. I mean, there's not a normal world that she would be confirmed in, is there?
No, there's not a normal world. That somebody who has built her entire reputation of being just in bed with special interests and lobbyists and people that are pay to play. And she wasn't Florida's Attorney General. She was a special interest Attorney General, and she's certainly not going to be the people's Attorney General. She's going to be the attorney for Donald Trump. Right. She's done that, prosecuted. If you remember, during the first impeachment, she was represented Donald Trump. She, filed a lawsuit against the ACA, which I think that we need to be very clear. The ACA is Obamacare. I think that now everybody's
don't tell them. Yeah. Right. You said you retweeted. She attempted to sue the ACA out of existence and overturn the pre-existing conditions rule. This is who she is, right?
That's right. And for anybody who's listening from Florida, there are 4.2 million Floridians that are on Obamacare ACA. And some of the reddest parts of our state, including Hialeah's #1 city. So when they start getting rid of ACA, all of these people who are using healthcare are going to find themselves in a really big bind, not able to find the access that they need.
We're looking for silver linings, Nikki, and at least we have been spared from Senate Majority Leader Rick Scott, who I still don't understand why he's not in prison for Medicare fraud. I'm sorry, go ahead. What?
I have one more silver lining.
Yes.
Susie Wiles despises Ron DeSantis.
Oh.
So that's a very big silver lining. Ron DeSantis will have no access to the White House. He will have to come on his hands and knees begging for access and help, and she's going to slam the door on him every single.
Yeah, and Nikki, you retweeted about Florida this week agreed to pay $725,000 in legal fees after losing a lawsuit that challenged a signature anti-woke law pushed by Ron DeSantis to restrict workplace training about race. And you just said more of your money gone because of Ron's culture wars. I mean, these are the fiscal conservatives that remember how they used to always scream about frivolous lawsuits?
Right, frivolous lawsuits, frivolous spending of taxpayer dollars, conservatism. He literally has signed into law the largest state budgets in Florida's history.
Oh my God! It's the winter. I was spitting up my.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm coughing up a lung because it's the winter pledge drive
it is.
Here at Free Speech TV.
Yep.
This is when I normally cough up a frozen lung. Okay. Hi, keep us on the air here.
Yes,
please. Freespeech.org/donate. Yeah, because we're approaching. Fascism may be closer than in your rearview mirror.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So freespeech.org/donate or call and talk to a human person and keep all your democracy warriors on the air here at Free Speech TV. Thank you. Listen, we've been wanting to meet this lady for a long time. I'm sorry, now that I'm in my downward spiral. Florida Democratic Chair Nikki Fried is here. We could not be more excited. You just said, I love your tweet. You said, we told you they wanted to make America Florida. And you said he picked America. Let us introduce you to Pam Bondi. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. Nikki, where do we even start with Pam Bondi? You go first.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. And I love waking up to that caller. That just really kind of sets the tone for so much of what's going to happen the next 4 years. But yeah, it's, watching kind of after the election and watching one Republican after the other from Florida make its way to Washington, D.C. And it kind of keeps getting worse. We started off, with Susie Wiles, and then we went to Marco Rubio, and then we went to Mike Waltz, and then we went to Mike Huckabee, who had a short stay here in the state of Florida, then Matt Gaetz, and now we're at Pam Bondi. I mean, they're
like
really picking the
At least Marco Rubio is just a spineless weasel.
Right.
I mean, but
I don't know who's going to trust him in a negotiation room.
I mean, Nikki, I know we're not in any kind of normal world, political or otherwise, right now. But how do you get confirmed as Attorney General when I'm not a lawyer? But how is that not a bribe she took? When she took $25,000 to drop the suit against Trump University, which when they did prosecute it in state after state, he was found guilty as sin in the Trump University scam. Then you got someone, she's on record as being a January, what do you call it? Election denier. Then on record as saying she will prosecute the prosecutors and investigate the investigators. I mean, there's not a normal world that she would be confirmed in, is there?
No, there's not a normal world. That somebody who has built her entire reputation of being just in bed with special interests and lobbyists and people that are pay to play. And she wasn't Florida's Attorney General. She was a special interest Attorney General, and she's certainly not going to be the people's Attorney General. She's going to be the attorney for Donald Trump. Right. She's done that, prosecuted. If you remember, during the first impeachment, she was represented Donald Trump. She, filed a lawsuit against the ACA, which I think that we need to be very clear. The ACA is Obamacare. I think that now everybody's
don't tell them. Yeah. Right.
But
you said you retweeted. She attempted to sue the ACA. Okay. Dean Obadala, our buddy, our pal, said, laughable listening to the same pundits who helped elect Trump tell us now what's wrong with the Democratic Party. Please stop. Stop already. Stop, for God's sakes, with the punching yourselves in the face, as rude pundits.
Why are you hitting yourself?
Yeah. Covey says in a Trump's America, you might not be able to afford food or pay your bills, but sure, you'll be comforted with the thought that Kash Patel is launching the 357th investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails. Don't laugh, because that will happen. Ryan in California. Hello, Ryan. Uh-oh. Ryan, I can hear you breathing.
I can hear him.
I can hear breathing. Okay. All right.
He set the phone down.
All right. Let's try the Homo of Hope. Hello, Seth.
Hello. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
First, around Biden's pardon, I think it's wonderful because I also think Trump would have sent Hunter off to a work camp in Siberia. Yep. And so I'm glad that's not happening. But I'm really excited because I was watching Ben Wickler on TV all weekend, who's running for DNC chair, who was talking about getting into the red state, building an infrastructure, getting into rural areas. Because if we don't, just like he did in Wisconsin, because if we don't do that, if you look at the map, we don't have a shot in hell at taking back the Senate because of where all the open seats are. Yep. So he really gave me a lot of inspiration.
Hope is the word he's looking for.
Hopiness.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We have Allison Gill coming up next hour.
real victims, despite their guy winning the election. In fact, they are now the modern-day equivalent of Rosa Parks, we're told by a white comedian. Civil rights heroes, the lot of them. And the rest of us, among the 73 million Americans who voted not to have fascism, autocracy, mass deportation, internment camps, and economy-crushing tariffs, are the bad guys, the segregationists of our time. If we, hold on, let me check my notes. Yes, don't want to have turkey dinner with the people screaming, "Your body, my choice."
Thank you, Joy Reid. Talking to you, Bill Maher. Okay. See, just support the democracy warriors that do not bend the knee to Trump on MSNBC. Yep. Go on, Joy. There's more.
So there is this strong dual energy among MAGA people and their apologists, and it actually fits quite neatly with the history of America. It's equal parts bully energy, where they want to relentlessly troll liberals and lash out at minorities, and victim energy, where those same liberals are supposed to take the trolling quietly and also pity the trolls. It's the eternal victimhood of the conservative. We need to constantly coddle, study, and understand them. No one, not the media, the big thinkers, definitely not the comedians, are required to try to understand liberals and progressives. No. We must seek to understand those on the right, what they really meant by their votes, what they want, what they need.
Thank you, Joy. Go on. She's not done.
We are the constant handmaidens and wet nurses who are required to baby them, understand them, and serve them dinner.
Preach.
And if we want just a mental health break from their conspiracy theories and complaints about trans people in the bathroom and on the soccer field and in the schools reading to kids at the library and apparently hiding under their beds, we are the ones in the wrong. In short, our dinner, their choice. It's the same energy their forefathers had toward the indigenous tribes. Hey, let's have Thanksgiving dinner on the land we stole from you. But before we pack you off to the reservation and snuff out your culture, could you please pass the corn on the cob?
Mm-hmm. And here she goes.
Here's an alternative.
Put it in the barn.
Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears. Troll amongst yourselves with Elon and leave us alone. Mm-hmm. You got your heart's desire, the president you dreamed of, and worship instead of Jesus. And this time, you didn't even have to storm the Capitol, smash the windows, or try to kill police officers or issue death threats to poll workers. See? You did it just by voting this time. Congrats. You got your way. Mm-hmm. And he even got away with breaking the law. Yay. But if you expect the 73 million who voted for the prosecutor, not the felon, and particularly the 92% of black women who voted for Kamala to give you a cookie for your vote, a trophy, a hug, a high five, you might be asking too much. If we want to eat with you, we will. But if we just want some peace over the holidays and we don't want to put up with your trolling while we eat our tofurkey, get over it. Stop acting like we owe you. And for God's sakes, stop whining. It's embarrassing.
Go on, Joy. Yeah. Thank you. Michelle Baker tweets, evil is the desire to hurt and oppress countless others simply based on greed, blind discrimination, and or the lust for power. Today's Russian-funded Republican Party is the essence of evil. This is all they stand for. If you don't see that, it's because you don't want to. No quarter. No quarter for these people, I say. Now it's time for another episode of Steffi's American Book Club.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you read something?
Right? Listen, if Americans read enough, you know who wouldn't be back in the you-know-where. I just love this. We'll have to link to this. D. Earl Stevens wrote this. Mm-hmm. To your point, Chris, starting out in the show, too many Democrats need to hear this truth bomb. In the wake of this terrible election, I will not be part of this self-loathing and whining by too many in the Democratic leadership in this country right now as they try to convince people like me, a high school dropout, that I'm some kind of college-educated elite who doesn't understand what the majority of the hardworking white voters want in this country. They can save it. Look, if these complete morons on the right want to vote against their self-interest and America, they are beyond help, and all I will do is keep working my ass off to make sure people understand this. What we have is a failure to communicate on the left, but much more on that in a minute. I will not take a scintilla of blame for supporting the smart, qualified career public servant who understands the dangers of unchecked racism and fascism and was part of an administration that inherited a dumpster fire from the son of a bitch who attacked us and provided 16 million jobs to the American people. I'm going to read the whole thing. Skipping down, these whiny white people are angry because they've decided to plant their asses in place and expect everyone to meet them where they are and see things their way. To Joy's point that we just played, they want to be coddled and held just like the babies they are. They don't want to make America better. They want to make everyone else's lives worse. All they are is angry. They finally found a lewd, racist con man who can put a megaphone to their tantrums and deal the rest of America plenty of pain. He has no damn answers for them or us. Zero. He gives tax breaks to billionaires and multimillionaires who supported his crooked run for office and writes love letters to the dictators who have infiltrated our political system and completely jammed its gears to help him get elected. So go ahead, keep reading this wrong, you inside the beltway morons, but don't expect me to listen to it. What we have right now is a massive messaging problem. From the minute the Biden administration took power, it worked like hell to tackle a global crisis that was exacerbated by the previous administration. I mean, even infrastructure got done. Do you know who has benefited most from that? White people. If that didn't resonate, it's not because it didn't happen. It's because too many people didn't know about it. They aren't interested in real news. They're interested in propaganda that makes them feel good about themselves in America, which never existed. It's all over their radio stations, in their churches. It's on the internet and their TVs, even in the newspapers. Conservative billionaires have bought up in increasing numbers. There is nothing comparable to this information machine on the left. And as I wrote this weekend, that needs to be addressed, but quick. Thank you! Until this gets fixed, we are done, and we don't have long because fascism is here and spreading through the countryside like wildfire, taking root in places like those damn farms. What you most certainly need to hear is this. We will end you if you don't have the self-decency and fight to scream long and hard for all the good things Democrats and the left have done for America and what little people you want to appease on the right have done for us. Thank you, and thank you. I'm telling you, it is not a mystery why, as I keep saying, Morning Joe or whatever is lost. I mean, yeah, we're demoralized after the election and people tuned out a little bit, but also it's the beating up on Democrats, starting with Joe Biden, that people didn't like. Right. They stand by their crook no matter what. How do you think he eked back in by 1.5 points? Right? So it's just...
We do need to find a way to fight MAGA, though, because, they did win. So we need something.
Yes. Well, I mean, to his point is what I keep saying from day one. It's disinformation. Right. It is.
We need to figure out how to fight that disinformation then.
We need the United States of Mark Elias. That's what we need, sir.
Yeah, we do.
Still fighting the good fight. He said this is a persistent problem with the legacy media that will become more glaring as Trump does increasingly outrageous things. It is one reason we are seeing viewers and readers abandon them in such large numbers. Thank you. Oliver Darcy said it seems most in the press are either unwilling or unable to call out the extremist nature of Trump's appointments using plain language, whether due to complacency, fear of backlash, or a misguided sense of neutrality. This is no time for cowardice. No. Putting his crooky father-in-law that he pardoned, right, as the ambassador of France while he's screaming about Hunter Biden getting pardoned is just the height of, okay, the gaslighting's already up to 11 and it's not even 2 months yet.
No.
Not even for 2 months. It hasn't even started yet.
No. It's going to be this way for 4 years. Get used to it.
Joe Walsh, who went back to being right for a moment, said, Kash Patel, here's where we're at. Trump has declared war on this country. He's declared war on the men and women of the DOJ, the FBI, the intelligence community, the military. He's purposely picked people to destroy these agencies. This is not normal. This must not be accepted. The people in these agencies who work every day to keep America safe must either resign or fight back. The rest of us must publicly call out Trump for what he is, an enemy of this country, and be the resistance. Hello to my shirt today. Dusting off all my old resistance t-shirts. Oh, you know what one of the dandiest ways to fight back is?
What?
Why? John in Springfield, Massachusetts writes, Steph, like you and the part of the world that isn't lacking a functioning brain, I've been struggling following the fascist-elect that he's returning to the White House, but instead of giving up, I've decided to fight against this Trump clown car show for the next 4 years. So to start, I'm flying down to D.C. from Massachusetts to join in the Women's March to protest Mango Mussolini on January 18th. Guess what? After I booked my trip, I remember sexy liberals are doing a show in D.C. When? Answer, January 18th.
That's right.
The same night as the march. So I went right to sexyliberal.com, bought a pair of tickets to the show. Woohoo! Now my trip has gone from awesome to super sexy awesome. Can't wait. Saw you guys in Boston. This will be my 5th show in total. Sweet. Now all I need to do is find a date to go with. Oh, get that sexy liberal strange, John. Get it.
Yeah.
See you next month. Fight, fight, fight. Yes, fight, fight, fight.
Yeah.
Where's Jody's fight song? I'm in the mood for all kinds of fight songs. It's here somewhere. Hold, please. Hold, please.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, come on.
No,
All right.
My soundboard did an update that makes things hard to put in.
Oh, it went away on vacation, didn't come back?
No, it's been like this for a month, and I'm very mad at it.
If I wasn't 11 billion years old, I did a 3.5-hour bike ride Saturday, and I had every intention of going to see Wicked. Did I make it up from a horizontal position after my 3.5-hour bike ride? No, I did not. But next weekend I'm going to go. Give me 14.
I have the fight song now.
What's the most important thing in comedy?
Timing.
Fight! Yeah. Come to DC. Fight with us. Yeah. What? Go on, Joey.
I ain't going down, I'm swinging.
Yeah.
Fight! Fight!
Don't do that.
No,
Do
stop
not
it.
do that.
Fight! I ain't going down, I'm swinging.
Yeah. Chris, who said do not go gentle into that good night? Rage, rage, rage against the dying of the light.
Hermie, the elf that wanted to be a dentist.
No, Dylan Thomas, as quoted by Dino Badala, who was in the fight with us. Okay. Who said, we are heading into dark times and you need to be your own light? The theme is light of this segment.
Okay, good to know.
Not fight, but light.
Maybe we'll get to do Coming Out of the Dark, Gloria Estefan, sometime as a bump song. We are heading into dark times. You need to be your own light. Do not accept a brutality and cruelty as normal, even if it is sanctioned. Protect the vulnerable. Encourage the afraid. If you are brave, stand up for others. If you cannot be brave, and it is often hard to be brave, be kind. Who said
Little
that?
Cindy Lou who was no more than 2.
No, that's a good guess, though. Sarah Kendzior, very close. Very. Okay, where was I?
I have no idea.
Wicked. Okay, Matt is Superman, who's fantastic on the the Instagrammables.
He's very good.
Yeah.
Who's it? Which number?
14.
14, okay.
Grampy.
First things first, this post won't be inherently political, but it is about the film Wicked. I just saw it Thanksgiving night and I got a hot take. Now, if you haven't seen the musical or the movie, then maybe you don't want to watch the rest of this video because it's about the plot a little bit. But I do got a hot take. First, if you worked on it, great job. I loved it. If you worked in it or on it, congratulations. I can't wait to see the second one. But here's my critique. Here's my hot take. I just wish there was something in this movie that an American audience could take away and that could resonate with an audience from the United States that we could find relatable. Because, okay, so in the film you got this con man who kind of like runs the government.
Yeah, go on.
He runs, and he's kind of like this snake oil salesman with like no redeemable qualities or qualifications, but he's in charge and he's deciding like what history can't get taught and what groups need to be oppressed. It's wild. And then you got this witch, right? And she's dope. She's incredible and incredibly promising, and she's the antithesis of everything he stands for, right? Like she's all about unity and acceptance and love and progress. And because she is for these things, he villainizes her. Like he denounces her, deems her wicked, you get it? And makes sure that like everybody far and wide who can hear his message doesn't listen to her, doesn't support her, doesn't help her, doesn't believe in her, right? And it's just, it's wild how he got everybody to believe in him and he's worth nothing instead of believing in her who is standing for some sort of justice. And like, I just wish there was something that we could take away from a story like that.
That was snark.
Yeah,
in case you're wondering. All right, 19 minutes after the hour, this portion. Hola, Carlos.
Hola. You know, I was so despondent that I had to go to the happiest place on earth on Sunday just to wash away all my fears. And then I come back, and a few days later, I'm like the cowardly lion in Wizard of Oz. Let me know when it's over. I can't look. Let me know when it's over.
The best place to go. The best place to go after all of this is Disneyland because the real world doesn't intrude.
He went on a roller coaster at Disneyland. Yeah, I love Scott tweeted, due to recent cutbacks, the light at the end of the tunnel has been shut off.
Yeah.
There's no humor too dark right now.
Yep.
Right. Someone else tweeted, you know what's really depressing? Our 4-year sentence hasn't even started yet. It hasn't even started yet. It's only 3 weeks. Jody, it's only 3 weeks ago.
I know.
It's fantastic.
I'm going to have somebody tell me how bad his inaugural speech is going to be.
Oh, yeah. I'm not watching that.
I can't watch.
No.
I cannot watch it.
And here's one for you. I saved, I guess, the quote for you. I was at the bottom of my class. I started doing heroin. I went to the top of my class. Suddenly, I could sit still and I could read. Who said that?
Oh,
Cat
Jimmy
Dog.
Carter.
No, that would be our new Director of Health and Human Services, Bobby Kennedy, said that. Oh, do we have it? Yeah,
We
sure.
do. It's 13.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, here he is.
And I was at the bottom of my class. I started doing heroin. I went to the top of my class. Suddenly I could sit still and I could read.
Oh, wow.
There's a new message for the kids. Okay. Wow. You tweeted about New Brunswick measles outbreak spreads to 44 people, mostly unvaccinated children.
Yep.
Get your face up in it, America.
Yeah, it turns out that you don't have to convince smart people. You just have to fool less smart people to win an election.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to celebrate education. You just have to manipulate those who are not.
Our friend Joe from Jers tweeted, so hold the on. So a whole bunch of Trump voters with pre-existing conditions are now realizing they voted to take their health care away, and a whole bunch of contractors are now realizing they voted to take their construction workers away, and a whole bunch of farmers are now realizing they voted to take their farm workers away. This was not, Carlos, this isn't even about education. It's just basic critical thinking skills. He told you all this. It's not like this was hidden, right?
Yes. And again, none of this was about the price of eggs, as I tweeted about going to Disneyland and seeing a jam-packed park.
80 million people are traveling. The most in American history are traveling over
economy,
Thanksgiving.
yes. While it might be tough for some, this is false. This was never about the Middle East. This was never about the price of eggs. This was about false information, a billionaire buying a platform so that it could pump in false information to scare uneducated white folks and some Latinos and some black folks that are afraid of female power.
Yeah. You tweeted telling that Rogan was not willing to travel to interview a standing vice president and presidential candidate, yet the other, Joe and Mika, did Please Don't Hurt Me crawl over to Florida, normalizing Trump as weakness, zero respect given to either. We've been talking all morning, Carlos, about so this is interesting. Yashar Ali tweeted 73% of the overall cable news audience is watching Fox News. MSNBC is getting 16%. CNN's getting 11%. These numbers are in the aftermath of the election, not pre-election. We were saying that Joe and Mika's has been the steepest. They lost literally in 3 days 40% of their viewers. Because
it doesn't mean that you have to turn to something that's worse or more abhorrent. You might be defeated and say, gosh, they're not speaking to me anymore, and they disappointed me, but I don't see that as a genuine turn to Fox News. But yeah.
In the arms of the angels. This dog hasn't eaten in weeks. Yes, he has. He just ate a few minutes ago. Right. But if you want him to keep eating, you need to keep Mommy on the air here at Free Speech TV. It's the Winter Fun Drive. He's so cold. It's a winter fun drive.
Stop shaking him.
Look how cold he is. Please give now. freespeech.org/donate. Andrew in Bonsall, California. Bill in Boise, Idaho. Just some of our winter frontline funders that are going to keep Clyde warm this winter. Stay with Mommy. Stay with Mommy. Go now. freespeech.org. Okay. Hola, Carlos.
Hola. I was so despondent that I had to go to the happiest place on earth on Sunday just to wash away all my fears. And then I come back, and a few days later, I'm like the cowardly lion in Wizard of Oz. Let me know when it's over. I can't look. Let me know when it's over.
The best place to go after all of this is Disneyland, because the real world really doesn't intrude.
He went on a roller coaster at Disneyland. I love Scott tweeted, due to recent cutbacks, the light at the end of the tunnel has been shut off.
Yeah.
There's no humor too dark right now.
Yep.
Right. Someone else tweeted, you know what's really depressing? Our 4-year sentence hasn't even started yet. It hasn't even started yet. It's only 3 weeks. Jody, 3 weeks ago.
I know.
It's fantastic.
I'm going to have somebody tell me how bad his inaugural speech is going to be.
Oh, yeah. I'm not watching that.
I can't watch.
No.
I cannot watch it.
And here's one for you. I saved, I guess, the quote for you. I was at the bottom of my class. I started doing heroin. I went to the top of my class. Suddenly, I could sit still and I could read. Who said that?
Oh,
Cat
Jimmy
Dog.
Carter.
No, that would be our new Director of Health and Human Services, Bobby Kennedy, said that. Oh, do we have it? Yeah,
we
sure.
do. It's 13.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, here he is.
And I was at the bottom of my class. I started doing heroin. I went to the top of my class. Suddenly, I could sit still and I could read.
Stephanie Miller.
Down. It is the Stephanie Miller Show.
Were you making lobster claws?
I was.
All right.
I'm a pescatarian. To our point about Wicked earlier, from Wicked, the wizard, the best way to bring folks together is to give them a really good enemy. The wizard has no powers, no intellect, no empathy. His only skill is creating friction and getting people to turn against one another. Seems pretty relevant in the U.S. now as it did in Germany in 1932. We are in Germany 1932. Please act accordingly, people. Our friend David Jolly, fighting the good fight. David Jolly on MSNBC.
And what is really unsettling about it is coming off of the election, those who have tried to act responsibly feel the pain of the loss. We didn't wake up after the election and think, oh, I'm upset because I was wrong. We're upset because we know we're right, but we're on the losing side of this battle. And so what does that mean for a responsible media, for a responsible electorate, for a responsible Democratic Party in this environment? The only answer is to double down in holding Donald Trump and his allies accountable and double down on trying to present a democracy that represents all people, even in a losing environment.
But what does that mean, to double down?
It means to keep doing what you're doing.
Yep. Thank you, David. One last one.
I mean, I understand the autopsy report that you go through when you're losing. But let's not overreact to this. Again, you didn't come out of the election upset because you knew you were wrong. You knew you were right, but you lost. So don't change the fundamental values. Don't just say we're going to give equity to Donald Trump, which some people are doing. In the Democratic Party, in media, among the electorate, they're saying, I just give up. We're going to give him equity. We're going to give him parity to traditional American values. No, that's absolutely wrong.
Thank you.
You can't do that.
Thank you. Guess who else is in the fight with us? Nancy Sinatra.
Oh.
What are these boots made for?
Walking.
Resisting.
Thank you. They're resistance boots. They're made for walking all over Mango Mussolini.
Yeah.
They're made for women's marching. She said we really need to focus on the next 4 years, and the calamity we are facing is the most job we Americans have until the pendulum swings back to sanity. And it will. It always does in our country. But it's up to us.
If you're marching, though, you should probably wear more comfortable shoes than boots.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, you know what? I'm going to take responsibility for why we lost the election. I just bought my Chucks this weekend. Oh. I meant to buy my Chucks in solidarity with Kamala earlier, but I waited till Black Friday like the cheap bitch that I am. And also, I didn't go falconing with Bobby Kennedy.
That's the main reason.
So that's the other reason we lost. Are we done with the autopsy yet? Oh, by the way, speaking of which, did you see Cheryl Hines post video of RFK in the shower to promote her line of Maha branded candles?
Idiot.
Body sprays and creams. Wow. Grifters. All grifters. Every last one of them. Make America healthy again. Pardon?
Everybody's got a candle line now.
Says Mrs. Brainworm. Mrs. Heroin. Dead bear cub whalehead guy. Okay, 29 minutes after the hour. We have Allison Gill coming up. Stephanie Miller Show.
some objectivity in the job for Donald Trump, who wants much more of a personal loyalist in the position, and that's why he's gone to Kash Patel.
Do you think there are any issues inside the FBI around politicization, as many who voted for Donald Trump seem to say?
Well, undoubtedly, if you look at it historically, for example, during the COINTELPRO period, the FBI really was weaponized against Dr. King and the civil rights movement and the peace movement. There was, decades of the FBI being basically used as a political instrument.
Yep, one more. Jamie Raskin went on to say,
I haven't seen what the proof is that the FBI has been weaponized against a political party or the Department of Justice. Of course, this Department of Justice has brought charges against a Democratic U.S. Senator in New Jersey, a Democratic congressman in Texas. And so some people just seem to think that it should go only in one direction. And if it doesn't, then somehow it's politicized. And I think that's what they mean when they talk about politicization in the deep state. I mean, the deep state, nobody's ever defined it. Apparently, it just means anybody who doesn't do the will of Donald Trump.
Good God. Crazy eyes, Kash Patel. Yep. Mark Elias said, if you had any question whether Trump will prioritize investigating and prosecuting his political enemies, this is your answer. Yep. Wow, when you are a bridge too far for Bill Barr, holy crap! Did you see this in his book? Bill Barr talks about thwarting Trump's attempt to make Kash Patel the deputy FBI director, an idea he says showed a shocking detachment from reality. Mm-hmm. And how much? What's John Fugelsang's joke? He's covered up more crap than cat litter. Bill Barr. Yes. Thank you. Olivia Troy, our friend, said Kash Patel for FBI director, always knew it would be him. His hatred for the FBI, eagerness to abuse the system and the law, as well as being Trump's ultimate bootlicker, make him the perfect pick. Pair him with Pam Bondi. You've got the dream theme for an authoritarian regime. Marie, our prosecutor in Atlanta, until Fani Willis is available. I'll go. Hi. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yes.
So regarding Hunter Biden's pardon, ultimately, when someone is an addict, you don't save them from the consequences of their addiction, right?
Right.
In this case, he actually faced those consequences. Mm-hmm. A ridiculous prosecution, Marjorie Taylor Greene waving his pictures around all over the place, the embarrassment of the situation regarding child support, the trial, all of those things. He faced those consequences.
Yeah.
And so I think that Joe Biden, having given him a pardon, he earned that pardon.
Yeah, and he said, I will never take the clemency I've been given today for granted. I will devote the life I've rebuilt to helping those who are still sick and suffering. Has anyone Trump ever pardoned said that? Or they're just no, I got to go back and start criming again. Thanks. I mean...
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, Marie, you're right. They wouldn't be happy until he relapsed and killed himself or got shivved in prison. I mean, it's just, this is who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And to his credit, he kept his sobriety.
Yeah, good for him. And that could not have been easy. The other one we missed, Brooklyn Dad says, Donald Trump, convicted felon, appointed Charles Kushner, also a convicted felon, to be U.S. ambassador to France. What an embarrassing clown show America has become. Mm-hmm. I mean, this one, Olives for Dinner, says 3 weeks later, and I still can't get over how we didn't choose the everybody gets a puppy option and pick the diarrhea forever one instead. We have sentenced ourselves to a long, smelly 4 years.
I would like olives for dinner.
Okay, let's go to David.
Delicious.
You better hurry before you can't afford them. Hi, David, Miami. Hello. Hi, David.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Sorry. Tim Miller, by the way, says of the Charles Kushner appointment, a nice way to blend the themes of oligarchy, banana republic, and idiocracy in one appointment.
That's right.
I have to say that was kind of a threefer. Is it a threefer we're calling it?
Sure.
Okay. I wanted to get to Andy McCabe real quick, also on Kash Patel.
It's a terrible development for the men and women of the FBI and also for the nation that depends on a highly functioning, professional, independent Federal Bureau of Investigation. The fact that Kash Patel is profoundly unqualified for this job is not even like a matter for debate. So I think what we should what we should really be thinking about right now is what does this signal in terms of Donald Trump's intent for the FBI?
Yep, one more.
The installation, or the nomination, I guess we should say at this point, of Kash Patel as FBI director can only possibly be a plan to disrupt, to dismantle, to distract the FBI, and to possibly use it as a tool for the president's political agenda. And, you know, as an organization, we know what that looks like. This country has been there before, right? The pre-Watergate FBI, the J. Edgar Hoover FBI, struck fear in the hearts of Americans across the spectrum of politicians, people in entertainment, people in the civil rights community.
Yep, one last one.
Because the director operated at the direction of presidents to collect political intelligence and to utilize the legal authorities, the investigative authorities of the FBI to terrorize and intimidate Americans. So the question is that where we're going back to with this nomination? I would argue that Kash Patel would be the perfect person for Donald Trump to nominate if that's in fact his intent for the FBI.
All right. His lovely and talented co-host, Allison Gill, will join us for the hour, coming up in just a few minutes. Our beloved JoJo from Jersey. I'd forgotten all of the fun facts about Charles Kushner. Are you giggling? Such a girlish little giggle. JoJo from says Jared Kushner's father paid a prostitute to seduce his own brother-in-law, secretly recorded it, and then showed the video to his own sister for revenge and intimidation. He got caught. He admitted it. He got convicted. Trump pardoned him, and today made him our next ambassador to France. The worst people on the planet are being placed in positions of tremendous influence and power. It is disgusting. And they still have the nerve to open their big yap about President Biden pardoning Hunter, who would never have been prosecuted if his name weren't Biden.
Right.
Okay. Oh, also JoJo from Jersey. She's just, she's my spirit animal this morning. Almost half the country is now being held hostage by a rapist felon because we were outvoted by the slimmest majority by lazy, stupid, sexist bigots. Thank you. John Fugelsang has a...
I've heard of him.
Oh, I tweeted and threaded in every place else in the universe, blue skied. A love video popped up of me and John Fugelsang over the years and his desperate struggle for a hairstyle.
Well, there is that, yes.
Anyway, it's a bumper sticker. A lot of you didn't Google tariffs and it shows. Okay.
It's true.
It's true.
It's very true.
Gary Kasparov, who might know a thing or two
chess guy?
about whether, this is 3D chess or whether we're... says, America, this is your next 4 years or longer. Oligarchs protected by Trump accusing former public officials of the gravest crimes without evidence or even pretense to provide any. Trial by social media, which is, of course, owned by said oligarchs. Russia in the Wild West 90s. Wow. And he might know a thing or two about that. Here in the United States of...
Mark Elias?
Yes.
There it is.
Well, that was good. See, you got that one.
Right.
I wasn't really guess the quote. Yeah.
Once in a while.
Mark said, billionaires are bowing down. Media figures are bending a knee. Public figures want to accommodate. It is up to us to form a new opposition. We will not back down. We must not obey. Thank you, Mark. He said, Donald Trump wants you to believe he's all-powerful, and if you fight back, you'll lose. He wants you to believe if you fight back, you face danger. It is time for us to build not a temporary resistance, but a long-term opposition. Vive la résistance! Mark Elias is with us. Who else is with us? Lincoln Project. They say just because we lost an election doesn't mean we were wrong. We are still in this fight together. Together! Oui, oui. Who else is in the resistance? Scott Dworkin says we must all refuse to bow down to this wannabe dictator. We must never succumb to fear or hatred. Not today, not tomorrow. Never. We shall fight them. We shall never, ever surrender.
No, I don't have God Save the King.
Sarah tweets, I hope people who didn't vote for Kamala Harris because they didn't believe a woman could be a strong president are witnessing the true strength and ability to govern being demonstrated by Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum and realizing how badly they up. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Palmer report said Trump announced that Mexico has agreed to close the border. Mexico responded by announcing it has no plans to close the border. Trump's foreign policy consists of dementia. Oh my God, she just shut him down.
Yep.
God, what a crazy idea. Some badass woman of color running your country. Woo, woo, woo. Thank God we didn't do that. That was snark and a big bowl of bitchy.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. It's Eric tweets, it will never not be crazy to me that America suffered worse from the pandemic than almost any other country thanks to one man's incompetence. And then we recovered from the pandemic better than almost anybody thanks to one man's competence. And then America decided to put the incompetent guy back in charge. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Oh, hey, you know who's a listener? Rebecca Jones tweeted, I count among my greatest life accomplishments getting Bette Midler to call Matt Gaetz rapey McForehead to her millions of followers. Good times. Where? Hey, Bet! It's mine. Yeah. Started here. Oh, Chris, I saved this one for you because this is gonna hit home for you.
All right.
Adrian tweets, someone I know who complained about the price of eggs a few weeks ago is currently staying club level at the Grand Floridian in Disney World. That's got a sting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Chris is a Disneyite.
Not Disney World.
Havoc tweets, so record-breaking Thanksgiving travel, record-breaking theater box office weekend, highest Black Friday sales in decades, number one economy in the world, strongest economy in 25 years, the price of bananas, though. Congrats, America. You played yourself. One more. Carmack says, reports are saying yesterday's Black Friday sales were record-breaking. We also heard the same thing for Thanksgiving travel. Amazing how quickly the U.S. recovered from we can't afford gas and eggs. Oh, God. Okay, and one last in the resistance with us. Dean Obadala tweets, we are going to take this fight to Trump. There will be no honeymoon for him, no moment of grace, no giving him the benefit of doubt. We will never meet him halfway on his bigotry, sexism, and cruelty. We know who he is. More importantly, we know who we are. Thank you. So, by the way, Leader Jeffries says the bomb threats and swatting incidents made against Democratic lawmakers, their families, and law enforcement personnel were all signed with MAGA at the conclusion of their message. He adds House Democrats will not be deterred or intimidated from serving the people by violent threats. Vive la resistance! Let's get him booked for Sexy Liberal DC like last time with Glenn. Remember how fantastic they were? January 18th, we're coming. SexyLiberal.com. Very, very exciting. Yeah. All right. If you want to watch my love movie with John Fugelsang and his 17 hairstyles to get in the mood. For a little sexy liberal.
At least Hal stuck with a hairstyle.
He is committed. This is his most commitment I've ever seen. To this rock and roll hair.
Yeah,
he is definitely.
In his rock and roll hair, are very happy together, and we wish them well. All right, 47 minutes after the hour, this portion of the show. Oh, Glenn, so little time, so many Neville Chamberlains. Wow, we and I, we were just saying off air that, even for those of us that marinate in this every day, it still is it just takes your breath away. I was saying since, I'm a little kid in school, the first thing I remember is we're a nation of laws, not men. No one's above the law in America. That's what we were founded on. And here we are, which, is not unexpected, right, where we are today.
Yeah, welcome to the kingdom of America, Steph. Yeah. That's really the only thing I can call it now because we have decided presidents are kings at least for the 4 years they're in office. They can literally, with Supreme Court blessing, commit all of the crimes against the people of the United States with absolute immunity from prosecution, from being held accountable for those crimes. This is where we are. We are now a monarchy, at least for the 4 years a president is in office. And Steph, when Trump was a former president, we had a hard time prosecuting him when he was a candidate for the presidency. Now that he's president-elect and he's going to be president again, listen, welcome to the kingdom of America.
I mean, the government's position on the merits of the defendant's prosecution has not changed. The circumstances have, Jack Smith writes. So the case is obviously overwhelming, and that's what Jack Smith is saying. He said the indictment's handed down by grand juries made up of American citizens, so he now leaves the door open for charges to be brought again in the future after Trump leaves office. That's what without prejudice means, right?
Yeah, that's really the only sentence in Judge Chutkan's 2-page dismissal order, which I have here, that's worth reading. She said dismissal without prejudice, meaning this case can be reindicted and brought in the future. Dismissal without prejudice is consistent with the government's, the prosecutors' understanding that the immunity afforded to a sitting president is temporary, expiring when they leave office. Steph, those words ring hollow, and our hopes that he will ever be prosecuted for, among other crimes, a conspiracy against our voting rights. That's count 4 in his federal indictment in D.C. The hope that he will ever be prosecuted, even if technically it may be available in the future, slim to none, and slim is fading fast.
Well, I rearrested my Mary Arrestmas shirt, even if it's aspirational. It's maybe for in 4 years. But, and we can always, there's always the outside chance he's going to commit even more egregious crimes. So, I still have impeachment T-shirts, resignation T-shirts, so we'll see. Caitlin Collins asked, will he issue a report? And if so, what will it say? So that's one of the reasons for Jack Smith doing this, right, is that he can, on his own terms, release a report. Will that be public?
Yeah, impossible to conceive of Jack Smith not issuing a special counsel report. He has that opportunity. It will be up to Merrick Garland whether to make it public. He has pledged that he will, and for what that's worth. So, yes, there will be a report, and at least this will be documented for posterity, for history, and we will know the full extent of the evidence of Donald Trump's crimes. But, Steph, Donald Trump is about to be sworn in and appoint an attorney general. And I can't imagine one of the first things Donald Trump will tell that attorney general won't be, bring me the names of all Republican witnesses who testified against me in the grand jury that produced these 2 federal indictments against me. What do you think may happen to those people?
Well, again, we're just not in any kind of normal world we recognize, but how you could get confirmed as Attorney General being on record saying, we will prosecute the prosecutors and invest the investigators, being on record as an election denier, on record as taking what, okay, I'm not a lawyer, but if that's not a bribe, I don't know what is, taking $25,000 to drop the case against Trump University. I mean, she just seems as almost wholly unqualified as Matt Gaetz, on several.
Yeah, if as a future attorney general, you announce before you know any evidence, before there has even been an investigation conducted, if you announce, we will prosecute the prosecutors and investigate the investigators, you're ill-suited. I mean, that's disqualifying. Now, will the Senate Republicans reject Pam Bondi, Donald Trump's nominee for Attorney General? I think it very unlikely.
Minutes after the hour. Oh dear, here we go. We've started another round of where the bitch please soundbite.
Oh, bitch, please take your line of bull down to the corner market and sell it there, because this five and dime isn't buying your line today.
The five and dime clip is a recording of the telephone conversation where Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum tells Trump that his threatened tariffs will not work to frighten Mexico.
I think that's true.
True, this conversation took place in November 2024, and the audio recording has been in possession for some time now. Do I have to explain every time more? Blaine from Kansas, the official progressive oil field trash of the Stephanie Miller Show.
Blaine has come the closest.
I think so, too.
Yes, Aaron tweeted, and just like that, Trump will claim credit for the entire last year of Mexico's crackdown on migrants, and millions of people will lap it up. That's what we're in for, as I keep saying. The disinformation is just going to continue. Mm-hmm. They're just going to believe whatever he says, that everything he does is a victory and anything bad is still Biden's fault. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's going to be
That's the
absurd.
salesman in him.
It's going to be absurd. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, as I mentioned earlier, says Biden told him to oversee a massive surge of weapons deliveries to Ukraine before his term ends. Good. I say, let's go full dark, Brandon. Yep, 2 months is an eternity in politics, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Let's start spitballing some things. By the way, Borowitz report says, looking for something to be thankful for, Democrats just flipped another House seat in California, making Republican control of Congress even shakier and setting up a return to Democratic control into 2026 midterms onward. He is with us in the Resistance. Thank you. This is a good point. This goes for dogs and cats. Why do we say slept like a baby's? Babies wake up every 2 hours crying. I want to sleep like my cat. 14 hours, no responsibilities, zero regrets.
Yeah.
Or my dogs, right? Mm-hmm. Baby, that's not.
I accidentally hit Boots in the head last night.
Oh, no.
I was lying. I was sleeping.
Cat beater.
I was lying on my back sleeping. She got up on top of me and hit me in the chin. So I'm like, accidentally hit her in the head. I'm like, oh, sorry, Boots. So
Aww.
But she woke me up.
Claws out or claws in?
Sometimes claws. Last night, sometimes it depends.
Yeah, Bonnie gets a little snarly if you move her by accident. It's like. Okay, James Comer said of President Biden's pardon of Hunter. He claimed that Biden has. He said Biden has lied from start to finish about his family's corrupt influence peddling, and adding that Biden falsely claimed any innocence of wrongdoing, but also lied when he said he would not pardon. Oh, shut up, James Comer. Shut the up. Seriously?
Why can't they all
Biden
shut up?
crime family, blah, blah, blah. They have proved nothing. They've been investigating for 11 billion years. Fox News contributor Charlie Hurt encouraged Trump to free all January 6th rioters following the pardon of Hunter. He was going to do that anyway. He's already said he's going to do it anyway.
Right.
Fox host said, should Trump Charlie now say the January 6th people? Look at them as my children. I'm going to pardon all of them. Yeah, they're exactly like I hate everyone.
Why would Biden do that when Trump said that he was clearly going to do it?
Yeah, he's already. And by the way, I can't.
I mean, if Biden did it, Trump would be upset that Biden took all of his thunder.
Exactly.
Everything happening is just the media just took. Because why did you take for granted that Project 2025 isn't really his agenda? It's because he said it's not. Has any human lied as much as Donald Trump? Of course it's exactly going to be his. All of the stuff that's happening, all these lunatics he's appointing, it's exactly the kind of people he said he was going to appoint.
Yeah, they fall for it.
Okay. Yes. Trump tweeted, does the pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the J6 hostages? What is the connect? Who have now been in prison for years. Such an abuse and miscarriage of justice, which is what President Biden said. He couldn't even write an original tweet. He had to say what Biden said about miscarriage. Okay. It hasn't even started yet, It doesn't start for 2 months yet.
I'd hate to break it to you. It's less than 2 months.
Allison Gill next.
serious distinction because the status quo now is no charges against the president. You would have to upset that status quo to later bring charges again, as opposed to merely postponing the proceedings, in which case the presumption is they continue when he leaves office. Now, Jack Smith relied on the opinion of lawyers within the department who said that they thought it was required by the Constitution to dismiss the case, but it isn't required by the Constitution. There's nothing that would interfere with his performance of the office, whether the case is dismissed without prejudice or merely postponed.
Yep.
So I think this is a serious mistake by the department. It compounds the mistake that you alluded to, which is they waited a year before they even brought this case forward or began the investigation. And then you have the Supreme Court with its immunity decision, and now you have a potential nominee in Pam Bondi who is saying she's going to prosecute the prosecutors. All of that goes against what Jack Smith said in his brief motion, which is that no one's above the law. So we're hearing that phrase a lot, but we're not giving validity to it by these actions.
All right, point. And now for counterpoint, here she comes. Here she comes.
Look who's here. It's Allison Gill from Mother, She Wrote, and just general hottie boombalottiness.
Allison Gill stars in every podcast ever created. It's true.
Yeah.
Jack, Daily Beans, Clean Up on Aisle 45, Muller, She Wrote. I don't know. She's an industry. She's not just a woman. She's a myth. She's a legend. She's an industry. Why she's Allison Gill, bitches, and you're not. Hi, Howdy Boombalati. Good morning.
Morning.
So I did want to get your take on that. I had heard that over the weekend about Senator Schiff, our senator, saying that the DOJ made a mistake to dismiss. They should have postponed. I didn't even know that was a distinction because my understanding was that he dismiss with prejudice.
Without prejudice.
Well, so he can at least release a report, which hopefully they're going to do, right?
Yeah, and if you held this case in abeyance, you probably wouldn't be able to release a report. But the 1973 and 2000 Office of Legal Counsel memos of very brilliant lawyers who interpret the actual Constitution of the United States says holding a case in abeyance is the same as prosecuting or indicting a sitting president. But the OLC memos said
meaning
above the law.
Meaning postponing. When you say holding it in abeyance, you mean what he was talking about. Okay.
Yeah, that means postponing, as opposed to dismissal without prejudice, which means you can bring them later. And in order to also recognize that, yes, you can't mess with a sitting president, but no one is above the law, the OLC memos also said that the immunity for sitting president is temporary and the charges can be brought once they leave office or resigned. But the whole argument, I think, is moot because whether they hold it in abeyance or dismiss without charges and bring charges later, you're going to have 800 things go a certain way in order to reopen this case, and it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I know. Somebody was saying, Alice, I'm sure you feel the same way, that it just is extraordinary. I'm sure to people around the world watching this, that this is some memo that you can literally try to overturn the United States government steel classified circuit, and there's a memo. It's not, it's not a law. It's not a jury.
Just a memo. I know we try to say, "Oh, f the memo" or whatever. It's legal interpretation of the Constitution of the United States. The actual Constitution of the United States says that you can't do anything to interfere with the president's ability to carry out their duties, and it's the OLC's interpretation, longstanding DOJ, multiple memos, multiple lawyers over the last multiple decades saying, yeah, you can't prosecute a sitting president. It interferes with their ability to conduct their duties as president. So no, you can't do it. And I agree with that. And I also would like to say one thing about my senator-elect, who I voted for. It is false. It is absolutely factually incorrect that anybody waited a year to begin investigating Donald Trump. There is public reporting, multiple sources on the record that Merrick Garland opened the investigations unit to look at the Willard, the lieutenants, Bannon, the Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, and Trump within weeks of him getting to the DOJ in 2021. So I just want to correct the senator-elect on that.
Okay. I'm off the defending Merrick Garland train, as you know. And I know you've criticized him for, a bunch of things as well.
I mean, I would be a millionaire if I jumped on that train. If I jumped on the hate Merrick Garland train for no reason,
I don't hate him.
Billionaire.
I love that you said you like Blue Sky because we can disagree about things like Merrick Garland without being holes about it.
Absolutely. Everyone's been very kind. They're like, well, I respectfully disagree. I think Merrick Garland did a terrible job. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if he did a terrible job or not, but here are the facts. I defend facts, not people.
Yeah. So speaking of, I don't know if we still have laws, rules, something. You said on the Federal Vacancies Reform Act, many of you have asked whether Trump can fire the FBI director and temporarily appoint Kash Patel into the position under the Federal Vacancies Reform Act without needing Senate confirmation. We are in some whole new wild new west, aren't we? We don't. Almost probably everything he does, we're going to go, is that legal? Can he do?
Yeah, we might as well not ask if it's legal anymore. It is. He's been given a gift of immunity by the corrupt SCOTUS, who are the ones to blame for stopping the trials from going before the election. But Trump has long praised Putin's acting cabinet picks, and so I wasn't surprised that he wants to just shove acting people in there for 210 days at a time until he can get somebody else to totally be able to ignore advice and consent of the Senate or anybody who has any issues with those. He did it 10 times in his first term.
And how is anybody shocked, Allison? Those people are like, oh, no, he's not going to Kash Patel, like maybe like a deputy something, but he knows he can't. And I'm like, no, he's going to do it.
He's going to do. People are shocked. I was telling your producers before we got on air, I'm going full Botox today because I don't need to look surprised anymore.
Yeah, exactly. True. I mean, Kash Patel, worst case scenario, just crazy person. I mean, and he and Pam Bondi, I mean, they're on tape, Allison, saying we're going to prosecute the prosecutors, investigate the investigators. Kash Patel said we're going to prosecute everyone that helped Joe Biden cheat in 2020. I mean, what I keep saying is you're not going to need crimes or evidence, right?
No. And if there was a Department of Babies, he would put a dingo in charge of it. We don't have nothing is going to make sense. All we can do is what Andrea Pitzer said.
That's
You're
awesome.
a delight.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You gotta buckle down and just sue him for everything. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. Do what he did to us with delay, and try to stop him with lawsuit after lawsuit, sabotage him and this administration using the bulkiness of the bureaucracy and the slowness of the courts. That is our fight.
You retweeted Brian Tyler Cohen, our friend, who said, here is Trump's nominees for FBI Director Kash Patel calling for offensive operations to jail Americans they consider the enemy. We will go out and find the conspirators. Yes, we're going to come after the people in the media. Boy, corporate media is going to be so happy that they both sides us into this nightmare that we're in and sane wash Trump to this degree, right? Because they're going to be enemy number one.
Yeah, or us, maybe you and me. I mean, like, who knows who's on their lists?
You'll be first. You're an industry. I'm just a little lady in my basement. I'll be such a coward. I'll be like, take her first. She has way more podcasts than I do.
I have more podcasts. That's the reason, right?
Oh my God! Do we actually have to wait till hour 3 to get to Pete Hegseth's mom saying her son's a bastard person?
Can every reporter just be like, whenever he's giving a press conference, just somebody shout out, your mom, just
your mother. Yeah. Yes, the mother of Pete Hegseth wrote him an email in 2018 saying he routinely mistreated women for years and displayed a lack of character. You know why that is, Jody?
Because he
routinely mistreated women. And yes, exactly.
Lack of character.
Yeah.
Yes. Chris, who said... This is so easy.
All right, here we go.
On behalf of all the women, and I know it's many, that you've abused in some way, I say get some help and take an honest look at yourself. Who said that?
The Burgermeister Meisterburger.
No, I just told you. Penelope Hegseth. Her name's Penelope. Yeah.
You don't hear of too many Penelopes anymore.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
It's quite the name.
Who said I have no respect for any man that belittles, lies, cheats, sleeps around, uses women for his own power and ego? You are that man and have been for years. And as your mother...
All right.
It pains me and embarrasses me to say that, but it is sad, the sad truth. Who said that?
The heat miser.
No, same
Penelope Pitstop?
No, Penelope Hegseth. She said she fired off the original email in anger with emotion because her son's obviously a giant dirtbag. Yeah. And And she said, so publishing the contents of the first email was disgusting. She said, not so her son, not being a rapist allegedly, not disgusting.
But she says, I had a follow-up email. Why didn't you publish that? And they're like, great, give it to us. And she's like, no.
No.
Please, Penelope.
I want you and I to go out for drinks with Penelope Hedgeseth and also Jesse Waters' mom.
Hasn't Penelope since recanted that email, though?
Yes.
Yes,
Well, that's what I was saying. She said that she wrote a follow-up email.
Right.
That was I was just being emotional.
I was kidding. Just kidding. Psych.
But when the Times was like, well, show us that email, she's like, no, I don't want it.
No.
So
No, not buying that. So listen. Oh, by the by, we're waiting for marching orders from Malcolm Nance. But hold please.
We'll get them on Wednesday.
Yes. Oh, because you tweeted, please stop asking me why I'm squatting on my Twitter handle instead of deleting my account and judging me for it. Just trust me. I host podcasts with the former FBI, and there are safety reasons for doing it that way. Trust me. I first of all, I'm not a quitter. Secondly, I like to annoy as many people as possible. And also the guy that calls me a bulimic ditch licker, I would miss him, that guy on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just don't want to cede any space. I wanted to get your take because Ro Khanna, Democrat of California, said he has no plans to leave Twitter, even as the, obviously after Musk. He said, I don't think the answer is for progressives is to disengage. The idea that in a marketplace of ideas over the long term, the truth emerges. We ought to be focused on how do we create more town hall-like spaces for conversation online. He said Twitter should definitely be among the spaces Democrats use to get their message out. He said you want to engage in it just like you want to go on Fox News and you want to go on progressive programs. So that's what I thought is like, I don't want to stay in my liberal bubble. I mean, I'm also on Threads and Blue Sky and Instagram and Facebook and whatever. But what do you
being pooped on by Nazis doesn't make you in a liberal bubble, you know?
Right.
I keep my account for a different reason. It's for safety reasons, and I'm not going to explain to you how people can exploit old handles to get personal identifying information on people. But I'm not going to allow anyone else I'm going to protect my namespace, as somebody put it. I'm not going to allow somebody to have my handle and go out and pretend to be me on Twitter. So I'm squatting. Now, every once in a while, I'll go over and post my podcasts. I know it doesn't get any engagement because third-party websites are throttled, but I feel like it's like the equivalent of leafleting, from a plane, good, important information and facts down to people. Like, it's almost like
Chris, I'd be interested because you always say what Ro just said, the Democrats should go to places like Fox News, but you quit Twitter. Like, why
I quit Twitter because I didn't want to give any money to Elon Musk.
Wouldn't that be the same argument? You're helping Fox if you go on Fox? I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to cede any space to them.
I want to see what they're talking about, but I don't want to be trolled. I can see the right-wing perspective of the news at foxnews.com. They don't troll me there like they do on Twitter.
So
I don't want to spend the energy, fighting trolls. It's just not what I want to do.
I have no self-esteem, so I like the guy that calls me a bulimic ditch licker. I find it funny.
The posts that I put on Twitter are automatic posts. I don't personally post anything there anymore, but I'm not going to delete my information. Everyone's like, oh, but he's scraping it to use for AI, and I'm like, good, some facts, some actual facts that instead of just a giant Nazi cesspool of bigoted hate, it's used to build AI. I'm going to leave my stuff up. I'm going to step away. Maybe I'll lock it down. I don't know, but I'm not going to delete that. I'm not going to release my handle to the MAGA.
By the way, if I could steal anyone's identity, it would be yours.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a little single white female. I think I'm going to go get some tattoos after the show.
People love stuff that are still named after Robert Mueller, and they really dig it when you defend Merrick Garland. So.
Yeah, they really do.
All right, 20 minutes after the hour. Hi, Charlie. What's not funny this morning, right?
Hi, kids. My apologies to the entire company for my absence last week.
Oh, that's
the migraine fairy came to call, and
oh no,
we have to entertain the migraine fairy, or else she starts hitting me in the head with a sledgehammer. So anyway, I'm back, ladies.
I feel like you're calling from the Church of Magic Johnson. There is a giant picture of Moses.
Yeah, that's the my first GQ cover story, and it's the GQ cover that hung in the front of the Condé Nast building for a month.
Wow, very exciting.
Along with all the other Condé Nast pictures and all the other Condé Nast publications. You know, they put up these big representations of that month's cover.
Yeah.
And they gave me that one after, the month changed.
Okay.
Oh, fantastic.
So that's why magic is up there behind my head.
Oh, wow.
But I have an even more important guest star on this week's
Oh, no.
segment.
Is it time for Santa Buddha?
It is time for Santa Buddha.
It's too early. It's not Thanksgiving yet.
Well, I'm not on until after Thanksgiving, so screw it.
Fine. Okay.
I don't give a damn about what anybody thinks anymore.
Oh, my God. It is. There's
I
no
am
way,
not part of mankind anymore.
right? There's no way to spin it. It's a depressing.
I do not care for whom the bell tolls.
It's a depressing one. Even, Glenn Kirshner, who's generally pretty happy clappy. It's just, even though you knew it was coming, it's still pretty breathtaking where we are.
I honestly didn't know it was coming. I had hoped it would, because number one, he's not the damn president yet.
Yeah, stop obeying in advance.
Yeah, I mean, why give up your leverage on your own? Why not, wait till somebody takes it away from you?
Well, I assume so he can release a report. Right. I mean, that's the whole reason. Because Charlie's obviously...
What good is
because what would have happened? He would have gotten fired, and then they would have Bill Barred the report. They would have gone, here's the report we're going to issue from...
What, we need another report to know what we already know?
Yes.
A report is not going to change anything.
I don't want empty pages in history where Trump's crimes should be. I mean, I don't know what else we can do at this point.
I just, I'm tired of reports. I'm tired of department policy memos. I'm tired of all the roadblocks we put in our own way.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
And I just had it. And by the way, I was researching the famous memo that, you can't indict a sitting president.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally written by the Office of Legal Counsel in 1973. Mm-hmm. But it was put into effect in the fall of 1973 by, wait for it, Acting Attorney General Robert Bork.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because Nixon had already beheaded the Justice Department. Right.
Charlie, remember when we were that was considered ridiculous by everybody when Nixon said if the president does it, it's not illegal. Here we are. I mean, it's like
guess what? If the president does it, it's not illegal.
Yeah. I think he's going to shoot someone on Fifth Avenue just to make a point.
I'm not going to hope, that this guy's coronary arteries last until 2029.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't care.
Because otherwise you're going to wind up having to have a cadaver synod.
Yeah. I don't care.
You know what the cadaver synod is? Did they teach you that in Catholic school?
No,
The what?
The cadaver synod is probably my favorite historical event. A pope dug up his predecessor, dressed the corpse in the papal robes, put him on trial, and convicted him.
I'm down with it. Yeah.
And then cut off his blessing fingers and threw the corpse into the Tiber.
Yeah. Oh, someone that did mortician makeup for a living said that the makeup Trump is doing looks very much like what they used to do. Because, the lips aren't the same color.
Right.
Whatever. Okay, Charlie, you write out of what seems to be the endless parade of wackadoos, smackbrains, rockheads, fanatics, lunatics, and general for brains that has been following Trump ever since he rode down the escalator and set the American idea of self-government on an express escalator to hell. None has been more ridiculous than Dr. Sebastian Gorka. You just, and you didn't think it could get more ridiculous, but I forgot.
First of all, the guy has a Bond villain name.
Greetings.
Yeah, bringing the funk back. Hey, hi, it's the Stephanie Miller Show. Allison Gill is here.
Yes.
Hey, do you think Pete Hegseth is going to be the first Secretary of Defense to call a drone strike in on his own mother? I'm just asking. I'm just spitballing here. I'm asking questions.
Well, he would have Trump do it so that he would be immune.
Right. Right. Oh, that's true.
Right.
See, that's why we have Allison on. She's the thinker.
Yes.
She thinks things through.
We just had an interesting conversation. I asked off air, do you think, is Merrick Garland going to release the report that Jack Smith, because that's presumably the reason they did the dismiss without prejudice rather than postponing, as we just, played Senator Schiff talking about. But you said you're afraid Merrick Garland's not going to release it. And then you'll get on the hate Merrick Garland train with me. Yay!
Oh, that would be an egregious thing if he didn't release it. But I am actually concerned that Merrick Garland might consider, or his OLC might put out another opinion that says releasing a report constitutes prosecution and presidents-elect count as presidents. And so therefore, to not be political, I am not going to release this report because I believe it is it's against what the Constitution, our interpretation of the Constitution. But if you don't release the report, that is more political.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. I mean,
Now, he hasn't said this. No one's indicated this. No experts are talking about this. I'm the only one that's worried about this Merrick Garland going this route. But if he does, I'm with you. I'll get on your train.
Yay! Toot toot. No, this is what I keep saying, Ellison, is it is clear from all his picks, he's going to try to rewrite history. I mean, you've got Kash Patel saying we're going to prosecute all the people that helped Joe Biden steal 2020. I mean, how do you do that? Right? Well, he's going to rewrite the 2020 election. He's going to try to.
He's going to do what Republicans have long done. Jim Comer in the House with Jim Jordan cherry-picking things from Hunter Biden files to make it look like $5 million was given from Burisma, but leaving out the rest of it. We've seen this. They cherry pick the Bible. They cherry pick the Twitter files. They they do that. They'll show you little bits and pieces. When Trump was asked if he would release the alien reports, he's like, "Yes." Will you release the JFK reports? Yes. Who shot JFK? Will you release the Epstein files? Well, maybe some of them. Because he knows it's there. So he'll release the Clinton ones, but keep the shred the Trump ones. They're going to do that with everything from here on out. They're going to go back to 2020 and say, oh, look, this is evidence that 2020 was stolen. Case closed. I was president for those 4 years. We should
Bye-bye 22nd Amendment. Yeah, absolutely. Allison Gill on the step. billion podcasts.
right.
Is that one Jack? Daily Beans, Clean Up on Aisle 45? Which one is that?
It's 3 podcasts. It's the Jack podcast.
Okay. You can hear Andy McCabe on. Also, Chris, who said if there was a Department of Babies, he would put a dingo in charge of it? Who said that?
Friesmeister.
No! Allison Gill said it
just
on
said
the
it.
Stephanie Miller Show. It's already trending on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Artie, for retweeting. Thank you. The money quote of the morning. Okay, got one more for you. Who said, I'm going to prosecute journalists for helping President Biden rig presidential elections? Yes, we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens who helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. We're going to come after you, whether it's criminally or civilly. We'll figure that out.
I know.
Oh, yes. Allison?
Mr. Carter. It's Kash Patel.
Yeah. Oh, she's way better at this than you are.
I
Yes, that
suck
is
at this.
correct.
Yeah, you're not very good.
No, I'm terrible.
That's why I always say, uh-oh.
Tom Nichols said, Patel's about as dangerous as it gets, not because he's that much of a true believer in anything, because I would recommend people take a look at a piece that we had about him in the Atlantic. He believes in nothing except serving Donald Trump, in his own interest. And what you're going to see is Trump creating an administration of people who really don't care about the interests of the United States, that they're there to build an authoritarian country to put themselves beyond the reach of the rule of law. And if you want to be beyond the reach of the rule of law, one of the things you're going to want to do is capture the FBI, because the other thing that says, putting Patel there, it says the FBI is no longer in the law enforcement business. I mean, it really is terrifying. Chris was saying about, to look for, signs of hope. That's a little few and far between, isn't it? Because it hasn't even started yet, Allison. It's like not for 2 months, and it's already so horrifying what we're seeing so far, right?
Right. That's why I said we got to get in the trenches and sue death by 1,000 paper cuts, but also we have to flip the Congress, both houses, in 2026, so that we can overturn by law what these agencies, what he's done to these agencies.
Yeah. I know what you were thinking next. You were going to say, but what does Laura Loomer think about Hunter Biden's pardon?
What?
Well, that's important news.
Well, it's all caps, so you know it's important. She said Joe Biden is a failed father.
Yeah.
Oh, if only to be Cokie and Gummy's dad.
Yeah.
With a crackhead son who slept with his dead son's wife and got rich off his father being vice president. Noted fisting aficionado Josh Hawley said this is the most lawless administration in history.
God.
This is the level of gaslighting we're going to have to get used to, right?
Oh, no. I think you gave Allison a headache.
I think she's broken.
Yep.
Are you okay? Come back to me.
You broke her.
She's short-circuiting. Great.
You broke Allison
no.
Gill.
Oh, no. The Gillbot has melted down on the 7th.
Almost as ridiculous as him writing a book on manliness.
Right?
Yes.
With those frosted tips.
What did Lucas Kuntz said he looked like a what do you call it? Cowboy Ken.
Yeah.
From the Barbie movie.
Right.
At the state fair.
Yeah.
Can I just say, that weird thing that really why that stuck during the election? Because did you see the Twitter users were stunned by J.D. Vance's Thanksgiving post, a parody of Norman Rockwell's Free from Want, depicting President Trump as the husband, Vance as his wife, and a county-level electoral map as the turkey. Is that just not weird?
It's weird.
And for a bunch of homophobes, that's so gay.
Well, also,
Put himself in drag.
Well, yeah, he put himself in the subservient trad wife position.
Right.
Which is
Drag.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and drag. I thought they were against that.
We're going to have to get used to maximum levels of weirdness. All right. Speaking of elections and the future, AOC could prove to be a formidable candidate if she decides to run for president in 2028, according to Monica Crowley. They were saying, Monica, she did this Instagram thing where she reached out to her voters and split ticket voters for Trump, asking them why they split the ticket. She said AOC has been an early adopter of social media. This is true. Helped catapult her into the national spotlight, stating she is connecting directly to voters. She claimed the 2024 election was a rejection of communism. Which of us were communists? I missed that part. And wokeness. I'm just going to... You know what? I'm going to need a Nerf mallet to just hit myself in the head with just when I have to quote
Should I order you
people.
one?
Yes.
Okay.
Order me a Nerf mallet.
Okay.
She said, one word of warning to the Republicans to my party. Do not underestimate AOC. She's young, she's vibrant, she's attractive. I think she's wrong on everything, but she does have real grassroots support, and all of the energy and activism in the Democratic Party remains with the revolutionary left, of which she is a part. Oh, my God. First of all, yes, President AOC would be fantastic. But, like, you know, are you getting as tired as I am, Allison, of all this particularly Democrats beating up Democrats, like the circular firing squad, and, you know, do we go too far to the left or to the right or there?
They want me to abandon my trans friends in order to get electable candidates. But I'll tell you what, back or you think back to 2004, a young progressive gives an incredible speech at John Kerry's DNC, and John Kerry ends up losing, but then 2008 he emerges the candidate. AOC gave one of the best speeches at the DNC this year.
Yeah.
Young, she's progressive, she's plugged into social media, she's good looking, she's very handsome, she's, you know,
handsome lady.
She's brilliant and young, and she, I think, could be our Obama of 2028 instead of 2008, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Mark Zuckerberg, latest to Kiss the Ring, went down to Mar-a-Lago, and
that's not what it sounds like.
That's not what it sounds like at all.
It sounds more like that.
Okay, well, she's done it more recently than I have.
I probably haven't.
But, you know, Allison, it's been the theme ever since the election, and why Morning Joe's lost half their viewers, because you don't get on the liberal channel. You go kiss the ring, you go kiss Donald Trump's ass. This is just, we need fighters on our side. We lost by 1.5 points. You know, I sit in that was a landslide. Goldwater Miller, Reagan, go, you know, on and on.
Yeah, and you go down and kiss the ring right after Saturday Night Live makes fun of fun of that exact scenario.
Right.
It was somehow life imitating satire, which is not a usual thing. Right. Until recently. But it's very unfortunate. I think it's why people are turning to folks like you and me and Midas guys for their news.
I heard Midas, I don't know whether it was digital platforms, but they outdid Fox on, I think, digital platforms or something. So, yeah, I say it every day, Allison. Support people like you and Midas Touch and all of our friends here on Sirius XM Progress, Free Speech TV. It's fund drive time, you know. Huh?
Buy our stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that. But this is why God bless our friend David Jolly, who has come fully to the light. He is a Democrat now, but he said this on MSNBC.
Forgive me for saying that you can't go to Mar-a-Lago.
Thank you.
You can't do it. It's going to get me in trouble. You can't do that. You have to hold Donald Trump accountable for being wrong. You have to hold all of his allies accountable for being wrong. Even if that means you're in a losing environment and you're threatening your own liberty and your own, security as an American. You either believe that Donald Trump and Trumpism is wrong and is a threat to American democracy, or you don't. That's the environment. It's hard.
Yeah. That's why we're going to need all the, brave patriots we can. That's what they want. They count on us, right? Giving up on just losing hope, going, oh, God, we lost it. That's why they keep saying landslide and mandate when it was nothing of the sort, right?
Mandate. Landslide. Yeah, no, sorry, it's not. It's not at all. It's not anywhere close. The smallest margin in a quarter century, and the one in 2000 was a fluke. So, it's beyond parody. Hillary beat Trump by a bigger margin than Trump beat Harris.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I know. Ooh, that might sting. Ooh, misogyny.
Yeah.
Allison, I gotta say, that's the other thing. This whole getting lectured by the dude bros about how we. And I have to say, I know you've talked so courageously about your, being sexually assaulted. That's one of the things about this whole election cycle, that literally how many rapists and sexual assaulters is he trying to put, or has tried to put in his, administration already? And what message does that send to all these young dude bros that, you can get away with it, right?
That it's cool. Yeah, I mean, I was just posting on Blue Sky earlier, has anybody checked to see if Pete Hegseth is actually Kavanaugh's friend Squee? They are identical dudes. You know what I mean? I like beer. It's not great to be drunk. It's you want to put that person in charge of the military where sexual assault is prevalent.
Yeah.
and without travel for abortion cares. You want to get these women and people pregnant in states where there is abortion bans and force them to give birth to their rapist babies. And then he probably won't tell us how many rapes there are in the military because they're going to suppress all the numbers. And that scares me about this administration. We're not going to know how many people are negatively impacted or die because of their policies, because they're going to keep those numbers from us.
Well, and not to mention, I think Shannon Watts, our friend, spoke out about like we need a bigger problem of angry young white men that are generally heavily armed, including apparently the two people the Trump assassination attempts. Angry white Republican kid, right? The first one, at least. But I mean, it just, to me, it seems like, I don't know, it's just this whole enabling of the dude bro culture and, how do we get their vote, rather than just talking about the unbelievable misogyny that took place in this election.
Yeah, again, I don't know, AOC? I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
But a lot of those dude bros voted for AOC, and also for Donald Trump. So.
The answer to this lightning round is AOC or dingoes. Thank you.
That was a callback, you see.
It's a callback to everybody. 45 minutes after the hour. This portion of the show. Rachel Bittencofer was there, and you were there, and you were there. Hi, Rachel Bittencofer. Remember how happy we were?
Yeah, dude, I will never be that free and easy again, I don't think.
You said it best. You said, I wish I had a time machine to go back to 1787 so I could tell Madison and Jefferson their constitutional republic committed suicide in 2024 for want of a no criminals clause. Mm-hmm. Stuff we never thought we'd have to say. Don't put a crook in the White House.
I know, they didn't put it in there explicitly because they figured that a population could never be that stupid, right?
Right.
This is like a younger, more hopeful you. You said, I can't believe I ever thought Donald Trump would be held accountable for his crimes.
Yeah. Yeah. I am so naive, and I always thought I was not.
I know. Glenn Kirshner was on just a little while ago, Rachel, and we were saying, even though it's expected, we knew it was going to happen, it still is just stunning. That the stuff we've been taught ever since, that you were talking about, that we're, no one's above the law in America. Just, not anymore, right?
Not anymore. And certainly not the guy that's about to create an autocracy, right?
Yeah. Well, we talked. Oh, you still have that great laugh.
I do have that. I'll always have
whistling
that.
past the graveyard.
And I always have my sexy liberal. So I'm okay.
Yeah. There you go. Well, so we talked this little bit off air, and I think part of your frustration is, you've been so right about so much stuff, and you've been screaming about strategy and what to do. And talk a little bit about that feeling of what we should have done, what we didn't do.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I think this audience, you understand what we're coming up against, okay?
Yeah.
There was never going to be like a reset or another chance, right? So 4 years ago, I was like, hey, we're going to have one chance to stop this man in 2024, and we are not going to be able to do it with positive ads. And so I devoted my whole life. The first thing I did was I tried to create a super PAC, which you should never do unless you're wealthy, okay? Because you can't fund it, right? But I met with donors who went on to Future Forward, and what I told them was like, look, what we're spending right now a third of every budget on testing, and that testing is flawed because you can throw one set of ads into one testing software and get one score, and you can throw it into a different testing software and get a different score, okay? And that's bad, because that means the measuring is the difference, not the product that you're trying to measure, okay? And so we should abandon all the testing because it's a waste of money and it takes us down the wrong path, and we should just be pounding and napalming Trump and the Republican brand day after day, ad after ad, 90% pound, okay?
Yeah.
And what did they go do is they've spent $1 billion on positive ads, dude. Like I feel like I'm a Groundhog Day.
Yeah, we always talk about this, the need to be alpha liberals and to fight differently or better. The fact is, hope and joy ran this time and got beaten by hate and fear.
It did. hate did win. Hate wins, guys. Like, oh my, and so like, it's like, stuck in Groundhog Day now because everyone's like, well, what should we do?
Hey, it's winter free speech TV fund drive time. Hooray! Do you know how many fantastic winter fund drive frontline funders we have? I mean, the list goes on and on. Brenda in Texas, Charlene in Houston, Corrine and Kimberly in Sylmar. I'll get to all y'all's by the end of the week and say thank you. And please go to freespeech.org/donate. Now more than ever, we need you to keep all these, right? What did I say? Randy Rhodes, the most talented communicator on our side, on this very network. Thom Hartmann, all the smartest people in the world.
Amy Goodman?
Amy Goodman. Do it now. freespeech.org/donate. Thank you. Rachel Bittecofer was there, and you were there, and you were there. Hi, Rachel Bittecofer. Remember how happy we were?
Yeah, dude, I will never be that free and easy again, I don't think.
You said it best. You said, I wish I had a time machine to go back to 1787 so I could tell Madison and Jefferson their constitutional republic committed suicide in 2024 for want of a no criminals clause. Mm-hmm. Stuff we never thought we'd have to say. Don't put a crook in the White House.
I know, they didn't put it in there explicitly because they figured that a population could never be that stupid, right?
Right.
This is like a younger, more hopeful you. You said, I can't believe I ever thought Donald Trump would be held accountable for his crimes.
I am so naive, and I always thought I was not.
I know. Glenn Kirshner was on just a little while ago, Rachel, and we were saying, even though it's expected, we knew it was going to happen, it still is just stunning. That the stuff we've been taught ever since, that you were talking about, that we're, no one's above the law in America. Just, not anymore, right?
Not anymore. And certainly not the guy that's about to create an autocracy, right?
Yeah. Well, we talked. Oh, you still have that great laugh.
I do that.
Like one of these. Who said, no, you can't take a shower? I'm doing a video. Who said that?
RFK Jr.
No, stupid Cheryl Hines and her stupid video hawking Make America Healthy Again candles or whatever. Oh, like that was, he's taking a shower behind her. Oh my God, that's the worst acting she's ever done. No, don't take a shot. Like it was a, accident.
As if she didn't know he was behind
her.
Right.
Oh. She didn't do like a European vacation, like bah, 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 the whole shower thing. That would have been great.
By the way, Bobby Kennedy already in the bag of rats stack. RFK Jr. already bitterly warring with other Trump allies. Fight, fight, fight. You're all equally awful. Big bag of rats. Don't care who wins. Cracks already starting to form in their relationship, according to the reporting. Kennedy's demands for how Trump staffed the U.S. Department of Agriculture has gone ignored, and he has been bitterly warring with Trump allies over the appointments. Fight, fight, fight. Maybe this will all just implode in a Lord of the Flies finale before it even starts. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he'll bring Bloomberg in to ban big gulps, and the Republicans can be mad about it. Who knows? Nanny state is coming, and it's something they never liked. But yeah, I quote you all the time on the bag of rats, and I just want them to eat each other and go away.
Yay! I can't wait for the PSA about how heroin helps you study, kids. Yeah. Okay. Dear God. Where am I? Oh, this is also a good on the whole Mexico trade war phone call with the.
All right.
Yeah. One possibility regarding Trump tariffs I don't think has been given enough consideration is that other leaders may decide he's weak and easily bamboozled and may be right. Something already suggested by his behavior the first time. What just happened with Mexico? To use technical language, Scheinbaum's response to Trump's tariff threat appears to have been, me? No, you. Who said that?
Buddy the Elf.
No, Paul Krugman.
Oh. Okay, Buddy the Elf and Paul Krugman kind of look the same.
Yeah, she said quite likely other trading partners will respond similarly. They probably realize even if Trump doesn't, that America doesn't have a clear advantage in a potential trade war, especially if it's America against the world, and probably not a good idea to even give Trump symbolic concessions. I mean, how many times can it be said, Allison, nobody wins a trade war? Right. That's the other thing. We haven't even talked about the retaliation side of it.
The whole Republican Tea Party, the whole caucus, the whole super right-wing freedom a-holes. The Tea Party was a rebellion against a tariff. I don't understand how they don't. Yes, I do understand why they don't know that. Never mind. I withdraw that.
Withdrawn, counselor. Sidebar. Yeah, Trump announced 100% tariffs on countries that moved to replace the dollar. That was his latest threat this weekend, meaning Brazil, Russia, China, India, South Africa, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, United Arab Emirates. I mean, this is going to be his whole, just these stupid, threats and bullying, right?
Tariffs on BRICS for wanting to replace the dollar, but please, tech bros, replace the dollar with crypto. Yeah, cool.
Right. Right. So we were talking about just how this was fantastic, how she just shut him down, the Mexican president, in record time. So, which, by the way, illegal migration across the Mexico border is down in part because the Biden administration secured some stepped-up cooperation from Mexico. Arrivals at the U.S.-Mexico border have dropped 40% from an all-time high in December. So this is going to be, he's going to take credit for everything Biden accomplished, right? And anything that goes wrong, he will blame Biden. I mean, we just have to strap in for this,
No
right?
matter how much we scream about it, half of the country is not going to have any idea that it happened. So
right.
We just have to run a super hot, young, progressive MRFer like AOC and not worry about facts, I guess.
Once again, Allison Gill says the answer is AOC and dingoes. Okay.
Or someone like. I mean, I'm not saying it has to be AOC or dingo.
But we were saying, I want more of this Dark Brandon energy, pardoning Hunter Biden. Everybody, that is being honest knows he would never have been prosecuted if his name were not Biden. And in the meantime, Trump nominated, what's his name? Charles Kushner to serve as ambassador to France, who he, already pardoned before, right? So here's a guess quote for you, Chris. Who said, Kushner's hiring a prostitute to seduce his brother-in-law and a subsequent filming of the app to obstruct justice is one of the most loathsome, disgusting crimes he's ever prosecuted. Who said that?
Jeez.
No, you're wrong. Whatever you were thinking. It's Chris Christie.
I've run out of holiday special characters.
I mean, I had to go back, Allison, look. So he was convicted of illegal campaign contributions, tax evasion, witness tampering in the scheme against his brother-in-law, which resulted in a 2-year prison term and disbarment. So Trump pardoned him, of course. Somebody tweeted like Trump Charles Kushner is a convicted felon. He hired a prostitute to seduce his brother-in-law, recorded their sexual encounter, sent the tape to his sister, all in retaliation for his brother-in-law's cooperation with the federal investigation into other crimes Kushner had committed. I mean, oh my God. This, what do I keep thinking? Is it Batman where they release all the criminals into the Arkham Asylum something? Ghostbusters? What am I thinking?
Arkham Asylum.
You're thinking the Batman series of things.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Let all of the villains out.
Yes. Yeah, and then
or you're thinking of the Trump administration when he released 5,000 Taliban.
Right. Oh, yes, that's what I'm thinking. You're correct. See, this is why Allison Gill exists, America. Terrorized. Expert says Trump is relying on fear to fulfill his biggest campaign promise. This is what they count on, us being afraid, Allison, on giving up, on depression, on people disengaging. I mean, I get it. It's the holidays. You got to do you got to rest up. You do whatever you can. But we got to get back in this fight, man. We got to get back in this fight. So
stay informed. Listen to the Daily Beans. News with swearing. Come back maybe in the new year if you're ready.
Yeah. There you go. You're like my superhero sidekick. Like you're Xena. I'm like whatever that other blonde was. But whatever. I love you, Allison Gill.
Love you.